You want to know what guys really think and talk about behind closed doors? Look no further. Welcome to the Other Guys podcasts. You'll most likely be offended, but you'll probably laugh too. So, enjoy. Welcome to the Other Guys podcast. I am Kevin, and tonight I am joined by the other guys known as...
I'm Kirk. Welcome back for season 2, everybody.
That's Kirk. And the other guy that I have tonight is Mr.
I'm Murray. How's it going? Why do you sound so depressed right now?
I don't know, man. Because maybe I'm just.
It's something
like,
pulling at
normally
your.
He leads us
something's
in.
pulling at your heartstrings, like in
Hey,
Normally you kind of lead us in with more vigor.
Yeah. Well, you know, tonight
more fire.
Tonight's a little bit different.
Did you lift too much at the gym today?
Yeah. You know,
I always say you gotta lift, but you gotta leave those problems where you lifted.
Listen. Maybe it's just the rain. The rain. It's raining today, and things are kind of whatever. But it's a lot of things.
Blame it on the rain.
Yeah.
Fucking Milli Vanilli.
Yeah.
What's weird is I've heard that like in so many joke references that song, but I still don't really know what that song sounds like.
No way.
What?
I just know that they claimed it was their song, and then they found out they didn't write or perform any of it, and they were just like good-looking dudes.
That's Manili and Vanilli.
They it was lip sync. It was a whole problem.
Yeah.
But now everybody lip syncs, right? Like most people, you see them performing live on TV. It's not really live. It's like it's a track they're performing over or something, right? So.
Anyways, tonight I want to talk about something. I think it's.
A second. I'm gonna let Kirk. Okay, no.
we can wait until later. I'd rather put it on the speakers, my stereo. I want to hear the full surround effect.
Okay, we'll get to Milli and Vanilli after the fact. But
all right.
Does this song go like a milli?
No, that's a different song, and we're not going there. We're definitely not going there.
All right. Ice Baby. Is that the song?
But what do you call it? I want to talk about. It's kind of tied into a lot of the other podcasts we've done before. It goes into the theory. Murray, you've said this before, but it was something about like the man is made. Something about dogs, like the dog isn't the man, or man. What do you have saying about that? Like a man is made by his experiences, right? Like and we've talked before about
can I interfere for a second?
Sure.
People are made by their experiences.
Yes, people. But just for tonight, we're going to talk about guys, the other guys. But we talked about how sometimes you start off innocent and then fucking life hits you and then you're a different fucking person. Anyways, tonight I want to fucking narrow that bitch down, and I want to talk about Nuke the Heart.
People are like, what is that?
Oh, I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna explain what Nuke the Heart is to a couple people and to you guys, just to clarify. So I've been playing around with this theory, or I have this.
Oh, can I give you a brief explanation of what I thought it was about?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, well, it reminded me of this story.
He's the perfect guy for Nuke the Heart.
No, this is what I thought Nuke the Heart was, because you confused me, because it was a joke in my family. My grandpa has a pacemaker, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes he'd be too close to the microwave, and Grandma would go, "Oh, God damn it, Bill, you're nuking your heart. You're nuking your heart."
This is the fucking complete opposite of that shit.
They have a great relationship, though.
They're still together. But no. What I'm talking about today's Nuke the Heart is basically, I believe that just for today's purposes, I believe every guy at one point in his life is going to get fucking smacked in the fucking heart, is going to get his heart smashed and broken to the point where once he comes out of it, he's a different guy. Or things in his life is a little bit different. Okay, I'll give you more of a literal example. Have you guys seen Casino Royale?
Yeah.
James Bond, you've seen Casino Royale, Bond?
That's a good example.
Kind of. Hold on, but like,
it's kind of a good example.
Is it you're talking about the scene where he uses the AED?
Again, this is not a literal fucking heart. No. Okay.
I don't really know.
I think he's talking about the girl.
Long story short, in Casino Royale.
Spoilers, everybody.
Spoilers if you haven't seen a fucking movie from
The movie's
2008.
10 years old, though, so fuck you.
But basically, James Bond, a little bit rough around the edges. You know, he's doing his thing. He's a womanizer, blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, he meets a girl named Vesper Lynn, who, you know, kind of gets under his skin. He falls for her. He actually falls for her, like legitimate, you know, falls for her. Then he finds out that, you know, she...
you know, I like the example.
You know,
it's a great example.
And then after the fact, he becomes fucking James Bond.
Yes,
he becomes fucking.
That is a good
James
example of little bit different, but a very good example on how he went in believing that this chick, although I mean, it's questionable. It's a movie, people. But yes, James Bond is, you know, betrayed in a way. Betrayed by this what was her name?
Vesper Lynn, played by
this pretty girl who he married, or he was going to marry, or he was going to give it all up for her.
He was going to give it all up.
He was going to fuck off with her.
Can I say Vesper Lynn? That sounds pretty evil. If your name's Vesper Lynn.
She turned out to be bad.
No, that's like in the Transformers movie when he's like, they turned on us. Those Decepticons. It's in the name, man.
Those Vesper Lynn.
But anyways, the example is that
example.
The example is that, you know, he went in with a certain belief. He was one way, and then when he came out of it, he was a different beast.
That's a very good example, Kevin. And I will say this: that in my own way, in that movie, after he realizes that she has betrayed him, and he goes after her, and he is literally bringing buildings down. Like, he is causing a ruckus.
Man on a mission.
And like, she's in a building, or in it, like, she knows what's happening. Like, the buildings is shaking. Like, he is causing massive explosions and damage. And he only wants to talk to one person. And that's her. I feel that's how I operate.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, in that mode when, No, but what I'm saying is, I think every guy will. Maybe you haven't gone through it yet. Maybe you will. Maybe you've passed it. Whatever, and wherever you are in your life, and we're gonna talk about it today because, you know, we're all different points or whatever. But I think everybody gets that fucking point where they get, you know, you go into something, you believe something, get your heart fucking rang. And then you come out of it and you're a little bit different, right? You're a little bit whatever. And maybe you know what? Maybe you still get hurt down the line, maybe even more and multiple times. But I want to really focus on... I think it's different. I think you can... It's inflicted.
Sometimes, yeah.
I think it can be inflicted upon you.
Just like...
but I think you can do it to yourself, too.
Just like... and here's another spoiler. What Blofeld said in Spectre.
James Bond.
I think he's a perfect example.
Did you watch a Bond movie recently? Is that what happened?
Blofeld, is this the James Bond porn parody?
No, he's the actual main villain. Anyways, Inspector.
So what's his power?
There's no powers in James. You clearly are not a Bond fan.
Evilness.
Anyways, but
does he blow hard?
No. But what do you call it? He basically talks to Bond like, this is 2-3 movies later after he's gotten over the heartbreak and he's with the new girl. But he's like, she was the big one. She was the big one. Vesper Lynn was the big one. And I think every guy...
For him it was, because he closed himself off at that point. He would enjoy... being physical, and he would enjoy everything, and he probably even was like, you know what, she's pretty awesome, but I will never
feel the same way as I did,
or I will never allow myself to feel the same way again.
But doesn't this happen every movie? There's like always two women in most James Bond. There's a good one you think he ends up with, but then it resets, but there's always a bad woman he falls for too, who is evil. Maybe it's less attachment, but there's always
he doesn't want to be with her though.
There's always a woman he fucks, and then they're like, oh, you're the bad one apparently, and then she like, because he doesn't realize
he has sex
and then
with
there's
all of them.
and then there's like a Denise Richards as like a nuclear scientist or something.
Wow, you're going with that movie of all fucking Bond fucking.
Her name was that the one where her name was
Christmas Jones?
And then at the end of the do you remember the line at the end of the movie when they're hooked up? He's like I guess Christmas doesn't come once a year. Is that like the best way to end a movie of all time? It's like a bad movie, but that line redeemed it, I think.
Good old Pierce Brosnan. Good old Pierce Brosnan as Bond.
Yeah.
People are like, what the fuck?
Watch a fucking Bond movie if you want to know what I mean.
I understand what you're saying.
There's 20 of them or 21 of them.
I understand what you're saying about it, and it's yes. That a lot of guys will understand.
Yeah.
Even some women might understand.
Yeah. No, this is not. But I mean, just for tonight, person, we're going to be talking about guy stuff. But generally speaking, it's universal. I think everybody, starts off.
But I got a lot to say about that, man.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
so not necessarily about like the nuking of me, which has happened, and I'll share.
Yeah.
But maybe I should get to that. Like later, because that kind of.
Well, no. So I think we're in the same thought of mind.
I'll talk about it towards the end.
I feel like
Kevin, it's kind of about.
Kevin, this was your idea. I feel like this is on your mind.
Yeah.
I really want to hear your thoughts, your stories on this subject.
No, so my theory is I believe that everybody does get knocked. I think everybody gets knocked throughout life. You can go through multiple breakups and multiple heartbreaks, and it doesn't necessarily have to be relationship related. But you're going to get heartbreaks in your life. But I believe that there's usually one that just fucking pushes you to that edge, that fucking hurts, and you listen. You either don't recover from it or you do. But I think everybody it's a universal experience. That's my thing, or whatever. So yeah, that's that's
I'm not totally sure you recovered though.
Maybe I haven't.
I was
because there was a guy at my door earlier, and he said like, "I'm here for Mr. Kevin Hamoki," and he says, "I've got one genuine Japanese sex robot. Please sign here."
Yes.
Apparently, it attention Kirk Hicks because you were too embarrassed to get it sent to your house.
Yeah.
So then I got to sign for this Japanese robot.
Better here than at the Walmart or the post office.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah. So I just want to say, I'm just kidding by that, though.
Yeah, of course. But Kirk, okay, you know what? I mean, I want to maybe start on you first because I feel
can I just say something about what you were saying?
Yeah.
Like, because you were saying like there's one, and then whatever it changes you, and yes, everything changes you, but I don't think you and people out there are gonna hear this and be like, no, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and I'll be like, I got fucking some experience when it comes to this on both ends, but
well, if you do,
I don't think you ever do recover. I don't think you ever do get over it. I think you just live with it. I think you just move forward.
Becomes a scar.
You know what I mean? It just it becomes a scar that like it's there,
fades away.
But like I tried to use this. I tried to explain to somebody once where they're like, but that was so long ago, and I'm like, it doesn't change what they did or what I did.
Yeah.
It doesn't change any of that. The only difference is that time has passed.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the actions or the outcome any better or any better tasting or whatever however you want to call it. It's just we no longer see that person, or they're out of your life, and then but it's one of those things that if that happens to somebody 5 years ago, I don't know, maybe I'm just petty, but
no, it's just
what, it's like one of those things, like we talked a little bit in the last one about that. It's like I'm fired up again about it. You know what I mean? I could become fired up about something I haven't thought about in
triggers
ages. And the scenario is I'm not gonna fucking engage for an ass kicking, like a fresh one, like a cheater, like a spur of the moment right away cheater, because that's a fucking beating you're gonna take.
Can I say I like this poetry that I like to think of when I think of heartbreak?
Okay.
If you don't grow up, your body gets bigger, but our hearts get torn up. That's true.
Okay, so Kirk, what is your theory on the whole?
That's the idea, I think, in that note there is like you have to grow with your heartbreak, otherwise it'll just keep tearing you down.
Okay, so Kirk, because I've always been interested in you're a very jovial kind of guy. You're very I feel like you're always on the brighter side of life. You always, as long as I've known you, you always have that like positive outlook. I've seen you get pissed. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But, and I
think I have to be outwardly positive.
And I know you've had your down times or whatever. But in terms of your theory of Nuke the Heart, do you believe that everyone goes through this at least once, where they get that one big fucking whack to the heart?
I guess I do. Like, I understand that for most people. I feel like personally, I've had like 5 of those. So
okay.
like to me, I feel like I've never. It's just like you get into something,
okay,
and then you get out of it, and it's like it's awkward or it sucks, and you're in a bad situation or something. But then I never learned from it though. I feel like I just like women have a certain power over me,
right?
And I don't know they're like a bitch or whatever until it's too late.
Okay. The song of the
like,
siren.
do you remember a
and
certain HH in my life? A certain actress on a certain YTV show.
Yes, I remember. Okay, well, okay. Well,
let's just say, like, I liked her,
yeah,
and I thought a lot about her,
yeah,
and it was hard for me to shake the feeling of her,
right, yeah.
But like, as I got too close,
yeah,
and I didn't realize that like she didn't have the same feeling as I did,
yeah,
and it wasn't that I became a jerk about it, or it was just more or less I started to realize as soon as I stopped. Like I got the infatuation out of the picture for me. It was like I was like, oh man, she's kind of awful, and the whole time I was totally blind to it. I had other comedians or people who were like, and my roommate and this other comic who had like a fight with her, and they were just going like, man, I don't know why.
But did you know her?
Yeah, it was like
okay, because like what you were saying, and I was like, is this just somebody you saw on TV?
No. She was legit on TV.
She was on a TV show.
No, I'm just saying because he didn't explain it.
I thought he would just know HH because that's
I know, but other people,
general people won't know who this is, and we're not gonna fucking name drop.
So that's what I was trying to avoid, even because I was just thought that was subtle enough for you to get.
I know. Anyways,
it was just I feel like we started running like a comedy show together, but mostly like because I liked her, I kind of like forced myself into hanging out with her, and so it's more. I'm glad
you said that and not on her.
Well, there was a few times with that.
Yeah.
Anywho, so that was all like I think I took so much on and like just listened to like did whatever she wanted to do, and it was like just like
pussy whipped. You got pussy.
I got pussy whipped very quickly, I guess. But like I just it's one of those times where like I have other situations I can look back and go like, am I heartbroken or whatever like that. But like I never regret liking that person. I always think in the end, most people I've liked, I can still say, oh no, I still like that person. I can still talk with that person in public and still like, not feel anything really. You get over it, right? Yeah. That person, I'm like, I can see her around, but like I feel like, oh, I just still this part of me wants to just to trash that person,
right? Because
I'm just like, how did I miss how awful you were? And I missed all the signs.
Okay. So,
it's weird, right? How that,
Otherwise, I think I've got a good record on that.
Would you consider her like the biggest one, or do you have a big one? I want to know tonight. Tonight, I really want to talk about the big one. Was she the biggest fucking heartbreak you had, or do you have one, or were they all equal, or like, well, what do you feel, or
I guess the closest one was like I told you guys before, the girl I worked with, because like. I think I was. It got hit hard that I liked her, and I knew she liked me, but she was still dating a guy.
Okay,
so what do you want? You want me to talk about here?
I want to know.
Well, no, like
beginning, middle, end.
Give me about the first one, but
I don't know. I really want to focus tonight on the big one, because we can talk about our heartbreak.
Okay, I get what he's saying. So
I just told you I don't have a different between all of these.
Which one was first?
I wouldn't even call any of these huge problems.
Which one was first?
First. That would be in college.
Okay.
So it was my roommate.
Okay.
So I really liked her. Mm-hmm. And that kind of ended weirdly though. So I don't know. Well,
I mean, do you
like I had to drop out of school.
Yeah.
And I had to like leave a place. So I never really got to ever see her again or like. And it's kind of like a thing I think that was going in a certain way.
Okay.
And I felt like I don't know. I didn't really know. I felt like I kind of fucked that person over by like maybe having to like leave my place because I like technically was like taken off the lease, but they didn't have. My mom paid like one more month of rent to this person.
So like, but about her, like, so you were roommates with her, but like, so like,
so it was like me and
you were invested in this, or
it was me
like,
and like 3 other people. So she was one of the other girls. Yeah. So there was like wasn't just me and her.
Kirk at one point in his life lived with 3 girls.
Oh, that's so good. Like, well, I mean, I'm just in that era. It would be good, right? You remind me, like
in
I assume
college,
you were,
like,
college years.
Like,
yeah,
it's good.
It sounded good on paper, but like I think like the girl I really liked. Can I say her name or just the first name?
Maybe not.
Not tonight, but let's. I mean,
but this is what the problem of you doing this is. I have to be very vague about the person.
No, be very specific.
No, you know what? You know what?
Be vague about who it is.
And it's like
it's your choice. It's your choice.
You can say whatever you want.
Nah, okay.
You want to? We can do just letters.
Her name was Shanae. What?
It was Shanana. No, I just think she was a really nice girl.
Okay.
Really pretty. And I was really into her, but like we spent like a lot of time together because we're roommates. But like it was like I think it was my first time.
But so you were into her. Was she into you?
I couldn't really say. I think like it was one of those times where we'd like like I would watch TV with her in her bed, or she'd come like hang out with me in my room and like sit, like lay on my bed and we just talk or whatever. But so I mean, like I think the attraction thing. I don't think she was as attracted to me. Obviously, is like I was. But
what did she do other than you moving out? Like if you had stayed living there, that would have continued. Like the closeness or whatever you guys were having. Like or you.
Yeah.
Like that would have continued. So like, did she do anything, or like you moved out? Like for you, it was a financial. You were out of school.
No,
so
it was
left,
but it was a medical problem I had.
No, right.
So I had to move out of school because of medical reasons, and that left that place hanging. But like, my kind of feeling was that like I think that like being roommates wasn't going to work with a relationship or anything. Okay. And so my theory kind of was to get out of if I stayed in Toronto at that point.
Well, no, I'm just trying to get to the actual.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I just want to know. Did she ever know that you actually liked her, or you had feelings for her? Or were you guys just in that fucking zone of like?
Yeah, no, she knew.
She knew.
Told her.
You confessed. You felt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said something. And what did she say?
What did she say?
I think it happened twice.
Okay.
Originally, we were closer to like in like the first few months of living together.
Okay.
So we would have moved in like September.
Yeah.
Or I moved in September.
What did she say?
And it felt like she kind of brushed it off because she also was like on this, like it wasn't even just me.
Friend zone.
She just like didn't. She just didn't date anybody.
Right. In college.
No, this year I swear to God, she didn't date anybody. She broke up with her boyfriend this summer. That's why I thought maybe I have an in.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And so she actually was true to it because I knew this because I talked to her all the time. She didn't actually date.
That's actually pretty. That's you know what?
That's a good. Yeah.
I'll give her some respect for that.
Yeah.
If she did it, if it was an honest thing.
Listen, I'm not denying if you're just asking if I was in the friend zone with her. I'm pretty sure.
Well, because that sounds like a girl who might have taken some time
off to heal
like kind of like figure her own shit out.
She did not like
she just
unlike some girls that I know.
She just knew
that
she knew what she had. She knew she was a hot girl. And I think she just like had control.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, as a hot girl, she had the full chance to jump on the cock carousel, but she didn't. So points to her.
Bringing back the cock carousel.
Oh, I'm bringing back the fucking cock carousel. But
you're very creepy.
I know.
So anyway, I mean, this is like
find out why.
I would
find out why tonight.
For me, this isn't like I wouldn't say a major thing because it was more or less this is who I was interested in this time period. Listen, and severity. And if you just let me talk about it instead of just cutting in every 10 seconds.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
It's very emotional.
Yeah.
I feel like at least I try to throw in some content, instead of just like, oh, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? No, what I really want to know. What I really want to know is this.
Okay, go ahead.
So. This to me isn't like much of a story because it was just like so I don't think my heart really was broken. It's just like I don't know. It was like an earlier Kirk, It was earlier than me. I didn't really know. It's one of those times where I'm like, I think the worst for me is I think when I'm stuck around someone like that and you like them and you don't have an escape. That's the first time I ever dealt with that particular, because I live with this person. I saw her on a daily basis, and we'd hang out like, a couple times a week. There was people always at the house. We'd always be hanging out.
Circle of friends.
Yeah, she was in that was my life basically for like 8 months.
I've been
so same with what you saying about the girl I worked with, for a while. It was like she was one of 5 other people I worked with. So the chances of me seeing her a couple times a week plus the same circle of friends where I was. That was really bad because I just saw her everywhere, and that was way worse because it was much more intense that way. Like there was much more back and forth, obviously, than this. Where I kind of realized at a certain point that I'm just one of the girls in this in this apartment, right? Like I didn't think of myself as I'm the man who's gonna. This is not it's the reverse of what you think it would be because you have porno brain.
Yeah. So I mean, you've gone through a couple of them, right? And you all that stuff, but you're saying that you didn't learn from these experiences? You didn't change after them?
Well,
it just happened.
The thing I think is I would say from a certain aspect, I loved all these people.
Okay.
It's I had an emotional attachment to all of them.
Okay.
And I think the way love works, it's like a chemical reaction in your brain. You can't decide to be in love with somebody. You just are or aren't. Right? There's no I'm kind of in love with this person. Or I'm, I'm okay in love with this person. It's you are, you aren't. And I think some people, for me personally, I think I fall really hard into it because I don't really see it coming. But then I feel like it happens a lot of times by circumstance, being close to somebody, just being in their same zone. Yeah. And then you just find the more you spend time with them, the more something just kind of brews in your brain.
I think strippers have that effect on a lot of people too.
It's a perfume that they wear. It's,
I learned that they I used that one technique they do. I heard they use baby powder.
Where?
In any sweaty sweaty areas.
I want to know all of it.
So I'm saying I use it sometimes in the groinal area because it's where sweat can be.
All right.
Keeps your skin
I didn't want to know.
smooth.
Strippers or
yeah, they use it a little.
For a second I thought you, and I'm like
no, it's like a little bit of dust with a baby powder keeps you dry. It also absorbs moisture, so if you're sweating or something, they're dancing up there, man.
Fair enough.
They're working for your money.
There we go.
Do you want them to be all a hot mess when they come to you, or what? Do you want them sweating all over you?
Sometimes.
Pussy juice.
Some people are going to say, yeah, absolutely, yes.
You want that?
Okay, so for you, you've been through the ringer a couple times. If you could say, have you actually talked to any of them recently, or have you?
I still talk to the girl from college. Yeah,
right.
I don't talk to the first one I mentioned.
Right.
I mean, I might once in a while, but she lives in Nashville now, so
ooh, big time.
Yeah, big time.
Nice.
And then
I heard that Nashville has a lot of pretty women.
Yeah,
I just heard that Nashville has a lot of pretty women.
I think it's the influx because everyone goes there in the country music scene and writing music in general. Musicians all go there, so
yeah,
that makes
sense.
So
that's like a hidden gem you're telling me.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you got a lot of
you hear that out there. If there's any guys looking to get out of town, you
got every small town Taylor Swift goes there.
Head down there.
That's true.
Think of that.
Perfect.
Every Taylor Swift. Or Kelly Clarkson, or not Kelly Clarkson. Who's the country American Idol?
Carrie Underwood.
So Carrie Underwood. All those every small town version of that are all going to Nashville. Okay. So there's going to be some hot ladies.
That's proper.
But
yeah, so you still talk to the college chick like
the only girl I don't talk to is actually there's 2 of them. My last girlfriend.
Yeah.
From Sarnia, I don't talk to.
Why? Or just
no, I basically I don't really. She's a bit messed up, I think so.
Okay,
and
from you or just from life in general?
I think just life, and I don't know. I might be part of that. I'm not sure. So I just know I took her off Facebook and I gave her my last cell phone number when I first moved. I was like, hey, here's my cell phone number. If you want, I'm gonna probably get a new Toronto number. Just text me, and she never texted me. But then it was weird because after we broke up, I think it was 2016.
Yeah.
And she would call me every 6 months. And then she'd apologize profusely, saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry for everything."
Yeah, and that makes it all right.
She's like, "I was going."
No, it doesn't make it all right.
And I was going through stuff, and I think for me it wasn't the worst thing because we didn't really date for that long. I knew her for over 2 years. We only dated for 6 months.
Right.
So it wasn't a huge relationship, but in the sense that it was more of I felt worse because our friendship after we broke up was well, we can't be friends again.
Really?
That's basically what it felt like.
Weird, man.
It felt like that's what happened, and I feel like I was open to being friends with her, and for whatever reason, I feel like every time she kind of came back in, she was trying to do that, but maybe she couldn't get over it or something. Because then I was like, then I just like I would hang out with her maybe 2 times in a week, and I wouldn't hear for another.
You normally do what the chick does.
But is this the same person when like you? Well, not that they were the reason you left Sarnia, but like the. Is this the same?
Kirk's had many reasons for leaving Sarnia.
So I would say maybe the one that was the worst was the girl I worked with at Kudo.
Okay.
Because that was, I think... Kudo. Is this a corporate sponsorship?
Yeah, fuck.
So, no, I think that one hurt because... I don't know. I think I took that one most personally, I guess. Because I thought like... And I feel like...
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like my heart got torn up. It just maybe my like... It just made me... I felt cornered in Sarnia because it's like I have nowhere to go, like, and this is the person.
Like that's the pattern.
And I knew I had to get out of that, and then like I really liked this person a lot, and I didn't know how other. Not that I knew that I had to. I knew it was gonna. I wanted to leave anyway because trust me, but like I think
this is where you're better than me, man, because you're willing to relocate, perhaps not just for that reason, but to be like I'm out of here, where I'm just gonna start punching people in the face.
Yeah. Well, no, I think this girl was just like, for me it was
not her.
For me it was bad because like she knew how I felt and she expressed like the same way, but she was like, well, I'm dating this guy, and then she'd tell me like how he wasn't a good boyfriend, and then there was a certain point like it was like
this was after.
No, yeah, like and then she would tell me this stuff.
This was after.
No, this is like during when we were like
she was monkey branching.
So no, she was.
Oh, you fucking monkey branchers.
So like basically, I think she saw me as like at that point I had it all together. Like I was like working full time. I like lost a bunch of weight, like looking good. This was the best version I think of myself to date that I was that year.
But let's talk about her.
Yeah.
Oh. No, she was like,
and how it's affected you.
I think I trust people. I don't trust people less, but like I think I'm more maybe critical of people when they like, because she was really nice and complimenty and touchy feely and like made those comments. Like she almost made comments like a guy would make that would get in trouble for at HR. Stuff like that, you know, like
I know about that.
Like she was like very like upfront, like and like not like that, kind of sexual, but mostly I felt like with me.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of like included, and I'm like, oh, I think she likes me, and then I kind of like confirmed that.
I think she likes me.
I confirmed that because basically I think it was like we went to some training thing, and the guy didn't show up to my thing, and she was supposed to sleep in another room with somebody else who came from somewhere like London or something. Yeah. And she's like, no, like this other person came with us from drinking. Yeah. This is cutting out. Yeah. And she's like, no, I'm gonna go. I'll sleep with Kirk in his room. And because where we work together, like that was a thing.
She wants the diddly.
So yeah, I was like, and then but during that night, she was like just saying shit like, yeah, you're gonna like, are we gonna have sex tonight or something? Like it was just like out of the stuff. Like I'm like I just thought she was joking, and then when she pulled this room thing, I'm like, so do I have to like make a move now? But I just like
yeah.
No, I just
oh boy.
I think this is like really early into me knowing her.
Fair
it's like the second month that I knew her really.
She wants a D.
So then at that point, like I wasn't fully invested. But then like a few weeks later, and Halloween goes by. And she dressed up as like a Batgirl costume.
Oh yeah,
and it was like full on like
latex.
Like it was almost as good as like latex kind of like leathery kind of Batgirl costume.
She went with the sexy Halloween costume.
Yeah, no, it was hot. It was like wasn't it really like didn't show up on skin. It was just, but it was hot though.
Just for my own curiosity, do you have pics of her at all or?
Oh no, I used to on my phone,
but none at all.
What?
No, but like, do you even have like a?
No, I used to have like pictures on my phone of her.
Right. Is she on Facebook? Because I can find shit on Facebook.
Stop finding shit on Facebook.
I can show you a picture later. Fine. Profile picture. I can show you on Facebook if you like.
Sweet. I'll give you guys an update.
I had pictures of her. Like I take pictures of us and stuff like that, and like either at work or when we hang out or whatever.
Do you want to mess with her?
No, I actually really think she's a really good person. Right. But I just feel like Kirk, she was at a crossroad because Kirk, I can tell you. Can I go back to the boyfriend thing?
Kirk, yeah. Well,
let me just explain. Let me explain. I was trying to get.
Okay, go ahead.
I was on a tangent. I was going on the way earlier. I was saying, for me personally, I was doing well. Like in comparison to her boyfriend at the time, like he was younger than her. He was like 21 or 2, still in school. He basically never had a mom growing up, so she was like his surrogate mom. She had to like, he didn't have a driver's license. She had to like drive him places. I'm just saying, I got from her talking about him, and then the fact is, like, I could tell when she was like, the time she was like, I think I'm going to break up with my boyfriend, and this is already past the point when she knows how I feel about her, and I started to like her. So that was already like, we talked about like, and I figured like, oh, any moment she's going to break up, and then we're going to go out, and then that didn't happen. So then I just had to make do with that, and then I felt like as a person that like more than just that I had to like do more with my life, because I know I still wanted to be a comedian. I still wanted to go back to Toronto. I knew like that the opportunities there were greater, right? So because even if I was like working at a phone place here, the amount of money you make is like double easily, because you make mostly commission in those jobs, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it wasn't like, I guess it was just a lot of torment really for the year, because I was like, is it a will we, won't we kind of situation? And I didn't really like, I felt kind of jerked around, but like I almost kind of think that like maybe that's just the way that person is.
Okay.
And like I feel like for me personally, like I haven't really ever talked with her, even when I was back living in Sarnia. I never really actually talked to her.
So after all of this,
so I feel I'm just saying this is like for her, me and her personally, I feel the worst after effect, because I never resolved all the stuff that happened, because it was like I said some stuff and things happened at the end, and I kind of like was cold to her, and I feel like from judging from like the people I worked with then, like they were friends with her still, it sounds like she was kind of mad at me.
Wait,
and things kind of like were off on a bad part, and I never really knew how to apologize about it.
Hang on, but why would you apologize?
Who broke up with who?
No, we were just like hooking up on the side.
But so then how did
man?
So it was like she had a boyfriend.
She had a dude.
Have you not been listening to that?
Kirk was the other guy.
Yeah, you were the other guy, but what stopped it from fucking going any further?
She retreated.
Oh, she retreated. But then why would you apologize?
I'm saying the way I acted, like around her, was kind of like mean and aggressive, and like I wrote shit to her after I moved.
Yeah, because you're angry,
and I was in like a bad place, and I could say further things. But
but that makes sense, because what also the fact is that you thought in your mind at the time is that this girl doesn't like her relationship. She talks shit about this guy. She's looking for a way out. She's found you. So, it looks like that's happening, right? You guys are hanging out. You guys are doing your thing. And then all of a sudden, it sounds like from what you're telling me, she goes back to the guy, or just doesn't break up with him, and then doesn't get with you, right?
Yeah, I guess because like at that point, I was fine with it until she told me that she was going to break up. In the sense, the way she was confiding in me was like, you shouldn't do that to the guy who like has feelings for you as well. Why would you say that? Like, I feel like that was the worst thing she did. Other than I don't know. I can't think right now.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. But okay, so like you haven't talked to her or whatever. But like, just let's say your paths fucking crossed today. What would you say to her?
I probably I want to apologize. Just like it's one of those things that like I feel like needs the space, but you don't know, like to talk alone. But I feel like that I'm not sure how offended she was by the stuff I was saying or doing, because I think I kind of went cold, and there was a certain part where like she even like mentioned it to her the person I worked with that she was close friends with, that like that I was I kind of stopped, like you were saying earlier, like I wasn't acting jovial. I was kind of like putting up a wall all of a sudden, because I mean I was trying to like hide how I felt at that point, because I was like, well, I mean, like I
respect that wall.
I'm going nowhere with this. I realized, because like I mean I hoped you went one way, you went the other way. It's fine. I mean, it's kind of, I think at the point when you like somebody like this, you do like have some sort of, especially me, I feel like I have I don't know. It's like you become a bit like, a lot of it's in your own head, right? Like it's really up to the other person if they're going to continue it. Like, and I kind of thought more than maybe what was going on than maybe it was really there. Who knows? But it's still hurt nonetheless. But then it's like I'm saying, it's like the circumstance when you can't escape that person. It's like the idea, like, earlier with the cum thing I told you. I was like, don't think about my cum, Kevin.
Yeah.
And what'd you think about? You thought about my cum.
Hold on, for a reference, it's fucking kafir. You were trying to give me kafir, and then you fucking said that comment.
It looks like cum though, doesn't it?
And it does fucking look like it smells like shit. But anyways, I drank it.
I drank the rest of it.
I wasn't here, so
I finished it.
Fuck.
I
Anyways.
downed it for you.
I don't know what happens when I'm not here. I show up, we do this, and I leave.
The other example I was going to say, which wasn't as funny, is like if you put into Google, you go no lions, you will find picture of lions. It's like that's how your brain works. Your brain's a search engine. So every time that's in your brain, it's harder for you not to search it.
Yeah, it's like if I say don't think of ghosts.
I already thought of one.
Yeah, it pops in your head. It's like don't. Yeah. So,
Although my ghost knowledge generally revolves around the movie Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So,
I was thinking of the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze.
Oh, yeah. Maybe he popped in there, but, for other reasons.
Yeah.
Because, like, Roadhouse.
Yeah, Roadhouse is going to be.
Roadhouse, oh, yeah.
Was he a ghost in that movie?
No. I think he made a few ghosts. He, ripped the guy's neck out, right? He pulls someone's neck out. They become a ghost.
I don't know, man. Like, your thing, like...
No,
I think we'll do a summary at the end and just talk. Like, I don't know, because
just,
like,
I didn't mean to drag on
it sounds
too long,
like
but-
your
No.
it sounds like that one is your biggest turmoil. But it sounds like it was somebody. I get that you can get out of line after the fact. I've been there. I get that you when somebody does something and you lose your shit on them, or you say some shit and you might not and then later on. And this is what I was saying, is that later on, that you might realize a month, 2 weeks, whatever, a year, you might be like, fuck, you know what they did was pretty shitty, or, that was kind of bullshit, or I wasn't comfortable. I didn't like the situation that I was in, and I maybe reacted poorly in the moment. So, I could totally see why you say you might want to apologize to that person if you saw them again. However, that's how you felt at that time, right? And so now you've had time to reflect on it. So you're like, okay, you know what? Because you're not in the moment, in the fire. But that doesn't mean what she was doing was cool. She fucking knew what she was doing, man. She fucking knew she had a dude, and she's fucking. Maybe her problem. Yeah, if they're not, then fuck. We're fucked. But she knew exactly what she was doing, and it got you to the point where you were in, and she was basically telling you that she's breaking up with the guy, which means you're gonna think you're gonna have a relationship with her now, or whatever. And see, this is the thing, fuck her, it's her fault. However, looping back to a previous podcast, if I was that guy, he could come and fight you. Not now, but I'm saying in that moment, if he had found out, if she did,
because you were the other guy,
he would have had to walk there.
If
she
monkey branched to you, you'd have to take the B bus. If he walked there,
Maybe he has a driver's license
now. I'm all confused because
He probably has a license now.
My brain is working. So I'm just saying, if she had left him and went to you, yes, at that moment in my world, right? If you guys were hanging around in wherever you were, and you said you're going to go to the mall together, if he saw you at the mall, fuck, you got to be ready. And that's all I'm saying. That'll be the underlying thing on this, because if you're the other guy,
fair enough. Well,
yeah. I guess I was kind of
you could have been in for it.
No, I think she's it was kind of the times she was flirty with me, and I think I even mentioned that in the beginning. I'm like, oh, you shouldn't flirt with me. It's like that when you have your if you're still dating. I mean, because your boyfriend probably wouldn't like that if he knew you were doing this stuff. And then she's like, oh no, he has friends that he does that with her or girls or whatever. And she's like just this new way of thinking people are just oh yeah, whatever, right? It didn't really matter, it didn't mean anything. So I mean that's what she was trying to say. But then there was a couple weeks later where she was freaking out because someone had told her that there was a girl who's they saw at this bar that was kissing her boyfriend. But then it turned out to be one of those friends that she was mentioning, like where he's just like, it's a friend of his, so it's okay that they kissed him.
She sounds like a mess.
And then I don't know, she was kind of funny, but like this is like, to me personally is like, I think like if I now that I feel like I'm not attracted to you and like I want to be with you, and I'm like I still like her as a person. I think she's actually really funny as a person and like funny and interesting to talk to. Like, I would probably, if this hadn't,
why
if my brain hadn't,
why did she lead you on? You know what I mean? Like, is that nice? Is that
think,
funny? Is that funny to you? Whoever the fuck you are?
I think
it's not funny.
You know, the thing was, this time I'm going to tell you guys, I was fucking really hot, right? I was just so fucking hot. Like, any girl, every girl in the mall, I had a good shot at. I'm saying in Sarnia.
Right, so
and there's some pretty hot girls.
Close it up. Last word.
Like, I'm talking makeup counter girl. Hot.
Anyways, Kirk fucking.
Well, think about things, and I'm going to think about things regarding his situation too. You know, but
okay.
But yeah, I would just say that my problem is I feel guilty about that is because like this is like the one person I would still like to be friendly with. Right. Like after the fact, even if I
would you want to get back together with her though? If she was single,
I don't think so. I'm just saying that like I liked my best memories of her is when we were friends before this happened.
I applaud that, man, because I
think that's what led me into liking her more. Was the more I liked her, I was a friend. I was like, I really like you in other ways too.
Okay,
yeah, but there's a difference, right? Like, cause
for sure,
branch a little bit, like not to like my big ones, or like whatever. Because I'm a
just,
different guy, but like I can sympathize with you because I've been there. Mm-hmm. Maybe not on the exact same thing, but similar, very, very similar. And yeah, I would say that being friends and then being friends after, like, yeah, my memory is like more like I remember our friendship times more importantly over, the other stuff that went on. But at the end of the day, like, I don't forget that other stuff. Like, I'm never going to. Also, if we are friends after, like, if we can repair enough to get back to something that resembles a friendship, it will never, ever be the same as it was. I will never allow it to be the same. You will never get that close. You will never have that opportunity again with me because I now know. So you are now just like every other friend. You're not special. Well, I mean, I guess you are in a way, but I recognize that I allowed that to happen. And that's my fault.
Right.
It's
their fault for whatever, doing what they did, but it's our fault for allowing it.
So Murray.
I'm just going to say I got heartburned. And I'm going to have a sip of some Pepto-Bismol, our sponsor.
He's not kidding.
I actually have Pepto-Bismol in
Pepto-Bismol. It's the 5-symptom relief, and the first one is heartburn.
Fuck it, I'm going to plug an ad. This is a Pepto-Bismol. We're brought to you by Pepto. Fuck.
There's only so many.
They're going to be like, no, you're not.
There's only.
You're definitely not, bro.
Nope. There's only so many.
Nope.
There's only so many Bismols in life. Why not make it a Pepto-Bismol?
Right. So okay, so Kirk, yeah, you survived your nuke. I believe you survived your nuke. We're not going to get into severity.
But yeah, I think you're right. You're right about the part where I mean, technically, I feel like why I never really branched out to try to make everything right anyway, because I probably had opportunity to do that over the last year or whatever anyway, at least, right? But yeah, because I realized, well, it's not going to fix anything.
What's the point?
And it's not going to fix how I think about you and you think about me.
Right.
It's an attempt to salvage something that died a long time ago.
Exactly. But what's the point?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to make a difference. I think in my
you're going to end up back in the exact same situation as you had before, except you got this whole fucking dark cloud in between you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's like,
for sure,
deep down, you're thinking, well, like, fuck, you did it.
Right. No,
you forced, you turned me, you made me think a certain way and I acted a way I didn't like.
Right.
And, really, you're deep down, you're going to think those things. Maybe you can bury them.
Yeah.
But you're going to that's how you think.
Exactly. So,
I was just saying, in a perfect world, I'd like it to go this way. Perfect, but I don't think it'll, I understand that it's not going to happen that way.
So, Murray, you've been through the wars. You've got battle scars. You've, actually, you know what? The funny thing is, when I first fucking met you, or in the era of when I met you, I got out of a fucking nuke. and I came.
That's
through
right.
because
you were going through.
I was going through
some fallout.
I was going through fallout, and you were the guy because, and you know what? You had sage advice. You had fucking and all that stuff, and you've been through the ringer. Still go through the ringer. Like you're a fighter.
Well, I'm a little different now, but it's true.
You've had your battles, and and all that. So I want to pose that question to you. I mean, you've obviously had
what started me on the path, or like what? So
yeah, how did
because like there's only like there's a few, and like people who have listened to this other episodes, and like we've talked about how I'm kind of like hardened.
Yeah, yeah. We know you,
and like I am, but like it's different. So like what started it all was it goes back to when like we talked about many times or like before, is when you're younger, right?
Yeah,
and people that know me that are, listen to this are going to be like, okay, maybe they know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you. And it wasn't even a big thing, because you don't know a whole lot when you're in high school.
Oh,
right?
so this is a high school story.
This is a high school story.
Okay.
So, like late high school.
Yeah, he said high school.
So,
no.
So he was probably thinking like,
so
later.
You're having sex with high school girls again, Murray.
No, this is when I was in high school.
There we go. We got clarification.
I'm just kidding.
So it was okay.
So you were both in high school.
It was okay.
Everything was legal.
So in any event, there was a girl, and then we got together, and it was, I wouldn't say, but I didn't know much better or what a better relationship would have been for me back then, because like there was other girls that I had dated, but like you date for a couple months and then you break up or whatever, and it's like you just break up.
Yeah,
you're young, right? So same thing. This should have followed the same path, right?
Okay.
So I whatever. Me and this girl, and she, she was pretty. And
how'd you meet?
School. I was sitting around one day.
Kevin, in high school.
We weren't.
I want to know the fucking like what was the pickup
our circle
line?
of friends?
Was it fucking love at first sight?
Our circle. Well,
do you want to join the Pen 15
Well,
club?
we talked about that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But our circle of friends didn't really associate. I saw her, and then I was interested, and then I made my move.
Okay.
But and I might have talked about the move in a previous podcast.
Was it the
classroom move?
Oh fuck!
So
that was a good move.
So anyways, we dated like pretty much for a year. But it was weird, and there was some weird things and signs I should have saw, like, you know what I mean, like she had some guy friends which were around, which I was cool with them. We hung out, but and then my friends would hang out with her, and like I think one of my buddies was making a play for her the whole time I was dating her. And me and him, we weren't necessarily tight at the time, but like we became very tight afterwards in a weird way. And then I realized, like guys will be guys.
Did you guys become Eskimo brothers?
No, I don't think so.
No,
it wasn't like that. Have you seen Chasing Amy, the finger cuffs?
No. Like I dated this girl, so like I wouldn't be three-wing with her.
So finger cuffs, eh?
But
what's up with that?
Especially back then, like but. What was I saying?
So you
so anyways, so I'm
who has a lot of guy friends.
So she whatever, and she's got a lot of issues, right? Like like her mom was gone, like she died, and so like she lived with her dad, who like he worked a lot, and like stepmom. Oh no stepmom. Or was there a stepmom? I can't fucking remember now. It's so long ago. But like anyways, like she was just a young girl that fucking whatever like that. She was cool. And then how did it work? How did it work out to the point? Well, there was a couple of problems, but like so I'm invested. I'm like, all right, things are good. Like when we were hanging out, things were good. Like from what I remember, right? This was a long time ago, and like I'd be cool with her today. It's so long ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, needless to say, like some shit went down. Like one of like a mutual friend, like what I mean, he made a play on her, and then like she told me about it, and then there was a confrontation. We got into a fight, me and the guy. Right. It was just not a good scene, like so that went down, and then I think me and her even survived that briefly.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, there was like another guy in the picture that I never heard of the guy, like somebody's older brother. And then, like she comes around and she's hanging out with me, but she's got his, and yes, I'm going to, go back. Like she's got his beeper on or if she used to have my beeper, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden, and I'm like, like this is an issue, right?
So this is like when I was in grade 8 and my girlfriend was wearing another guy's Tamagotchi.
Exactly.
It was a Tamagotchi.
So it's very juvenile to think about it in that way now. But for me, like, young Murray, like this was like a whole new, like what is going on? Like I don't understand. Like if you don't want to go out with me, like you know what I mean? Like you should talk to me. Right? And like it seemed like she was monkey branching, right? Well, she was. Right. So, I freak out, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Because like, maybe dude's gonna pick her up from school, and maybe I'm gonna fight this guy. Like I'll embarrass myself doing this, but whatever. Like I said, you got to stand up for yourself. I didn't, but yeah, like that shit just ended, man. Like, and that was bad. So like, it ended in a way that there was a lot of weird shit going on at the end. So she was obviously up. Well, I mean, like with the friend. With the mutual friend that, said, oh, shit's going on. And she's like, no, nothing's going on. He's just trying to break us up because he thinks because we're tight, I'm going to go to him because we break up. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck, that makes sense. But at the same time, like I kind of believe him, But then I'm like, whatever, let's bury it. And then he came at me. So then, we had a physical confrontation that I didn't start.
So you had a physical confrontation with Barry.
With this guy.
You bury. Oh, I don't know.
But we hashed it out after it all, like after she was gone, and you know what I mean, because she ended up dating that other guy, right? And
so she dated the guy that
she did, yeah.
Who she said wasn't an issue.
Yeah, not an issue.
Red fucking flag.
Yeah, no, guy's not an issue. Or I'll stop talking to him.
Friend.
Yeah, I'll stop talking to him because I heard about him because somebody was like, "Hey, man, you might want to check."
He's not just a friend.
Not just a friend. So and this was a long time ago, and I feel bad bringing it up this many years later, right? But I mean, that's kind of what launched me into a weird, I don't know, mentality, I guess, for a while. Like, I mean, right after the fact, like I remember, like. I think I must have been depressed because like I remember sleeping a lot and like I didn't go out a lot. Yeah. And like friends, like I lived at home. Yeah. And like
how many times
I would wake up and like friends would be like I had a little like a chair in my room and like some friends like mainly like the chicks that I was friends with at the time, like they would like come by. Right. Because like I'd skip school and shit, and I'd just stay home and like wwhatever, and then like they'd show up.
Did you hold a boombox in the rain a lot too? Then
no, I don't think I did. Maybe I did. No, I don't think I did. But I was depressed.
I feel like whenever I've been depressed is when I least care about being soaked in the rain. You're just like, fuck, I deserve it.
Some of the best arguments I ever had were in the rain.
Remember when I kissed you in the rain, Kevin?
That's a fucking lie, but okay.
No, that was my dream lesson.
There you go.
Was it the shower?
And that's just where it started.
Was it a daydream in the shower?
It started in the rain, ended in the bed, ended with more.
Yeah, that's a good dream. So definitely a good dream for you, man. But
anyways, I don't know. Long story short. So I became depressed, I guess, and then so people were like trying to snap me out of it, and then eventually I guess I did. I started working in a bar shortly thereafter, so I mean that was kind of a good thing. But I don't know, man. So that kind of changed. Like that was my first real moment of like kind of like dealing with a lot of shit coming from somebody who's not. First of all, being honest with you, treating you well, like just really just fucking you around, right? And like that's when I really developed, and like there's some girls that listen to this that are probably going to understand, and to be like, when I get told like, it's just a guy friend, like unless there's something substantial to back it up, like, oh, I've known this person for whatever and he's friends with, it's like, okay, I can accept that shit. Right. But when it's just, you can't explain it to me and this person is just new in your life and they're just a friend, or, like, no, that's not cool. Especially when I say, when I ask you about it and I tell you, this is a concern for me. Like, are we good? And they're telling me, yeah, we're good. But this, I'm going to hang out with this person every now and then because we're cool. And I'm like, I'm not cool with that. Like you got like I'm not cool with that. If you want to be with me, they gotta go.
Right.
And then you tell me you're gonna deal with that situation, and then you don't, and then all this happens. Major problem for me, right? And so like that I carried through. I'd say that kind of is where I established that.
So you became a little bit more guarded. You didn't take things like. You weren't oblivious to certain shit, right? Like when a girl, like you.
No, if anything, I was a little more concerned. Like I wouldn't say jealous.
Right.
Like I'm not a jealous person.
Yeah.
Like I don't think so. I think I'm more cautious.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I'm cool. Like you got like I'll let people go out. Like you can do whatever they want to do. But so yeah, that started that, and like that would cause problems. I think with other people because I wouldn't open up the same way because like because yeah, like and then there was other people, like I dated, like I cared for them and this and that, but like it was just maybe I didn't let them in,
right?
I didn't let them in enough, and then like he said, like obviously there's always a friend, right. There's always a friend that gets thrown into the mix, and like obviously I had one, and we were tight, we're still good. But like, well, we're not the same as we were,
of course.
But we never dated. It was one of those we never dated.
Right.
But like, I was friends with her back when all this nonsense was going on, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then at times this girl comes out and just fucking like tells me shit and like fucking like this was before, right? Way back. And like kind of like a Kirk situation, right? Lures you in, like kind of just it takes it to that next level, and then just kind of fucking fizzles out on you. And like eventually you can only do it so many times where you got to cut them off. You just can't see them all the time, right? Because it's awkward,
right?
Especially it's awkward when fucking you date a girl. And the worst is when you date a girl and she fucks you over, and then she's friends with your friends. Or it's a friend, and like you're just like you can't get away from that. Like
you're in the comedy community,
and that's where I dip out. Like it's almost like I need a new set of friends, right? Like it's like you got to kind of chill with people.
You lose things, like we talked in the last one. You lose,
but sometimes you can't lose things, right? Like if it's like if you date a girl that you're friends with, like like you pay her up. It's hard, man. Like I got a lot of friends like that. We grew up together, and like they dated each other. A couple of my buddies dated a couple of my girlfriends. Like girls that I'm friends with, and like they didn't end well. And it's awkward, and it's hard for them to all be around each other because it was a serious relationship for multiple years, and it just ended, right?
Just like Johnny Cash says. In the end, they all go away. I'm just saying, man.
It's true,
I'm just
dude.
saying, man. They all fucking go away.
It's
problems
true.
Or what? Just
people.
People.
Your circle gets smaller, man.
But I think you can do it to yourself too. Like, I mean, like, I wouldn't. I'd say that like one person I dated for like a fairly lengthy amount of time.
Yeah.
And we ended. I would say almost in a mutual understanding of like, you know what I mean, like. She's gonna do what the fuck she's gonna do,
right?
And that's hopefully she doesn't do it all the time anymore, and like whatever. But like drinks a lot, and like I'm not doing that, and like gets kind of wild and crazy and causes problems, and like I kind of.
What was that saying? The best revenge is living well.
Yeah,
I think the best revenge is getting revenge. But
by living longer because of all your kefir you drank, Kevin?
Fuck that.
I don't think that's revenge because like I think I got it. Like we both got it. Like it was like she just pushed me too many times repeatedly to the wall.
Yeah.
And like, makeups and breakups, right? For like a really, really long time where I just was like, we just kind of knew, she's like, well, I'm going to find, this ain't working. And I'm like, all right. Like I agree. Right. And what's cool about it is, and what's not cool about it is like, even like now, like if she was in a jam, cause she's, I don't want to piss her off, but, I'll talk to her, just to keep the, I'll keep the dialogue open sparingly just to...
You keep the door open just enough, like...
Not to go back or nothing like that. Okay. We know, like, it'll not work. It won't work. Right. Physically, yeah, sure, we can work. But, like, relationship-wise, like, I understand, she understands, like, we're just not going to end up together.
Right.
We can't be together. Like, it's just too many problems because, like,
Right.
So I'm
unwilling to take on that much crazy for the rest of my life.
I've been waiting to hear Kevin's heartbreaker. Who's your heartbreaker?
I don't know. There's a lot, but no. I mean,
I feel like you're avoiding this.
We'll come back to me.
Jesus
like,
fucking Christ!
I just saw the look on your face. You're just like you're ready to expel some venom or something.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't
or
know.
maybe you're just looking at me.
I don't know. What do you want to know, Kirk? I feel like you want to know.
Well, I thought the reason why we all got together was because you really had something you wanted to talk about.
No. It was a general idea of...
You had some tender, caring, loving things to say about somebody that once torched your heart.
I think he was waiting for me to get him there.
Maybe.
I think he was waiting for me to get him there.
Maybe.
To the point where he's like,
because I asked him,
I'm ready for the sharing branch.
Do you remember at the very beginning? I was asking him, and he totally deflected. Then he was like, "No, but
I don't know. Do you know?
I'll pry it out of him before we're done.
I don't know. Maybe.
Do you want?
Maybe you listen, man.
Who fucked with your monkey branch?
I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
Well, I'll just So like I will say this. So like I said earlier, I think that we can do it to ourselves as well.
Yeah.
Like I think a person can cause their own inflict their own damage on themselves, right? Like I dated a girl, right? Not relatively, like not too long ago, but you know, as an adult, as like, you know, late 20s.
Right.
And, you know, for, like a year.
Yeah.
And, you know, things were good. She was a rock solid chick, man. Like, you know, and I don't think that I invested it like emotionally in her. And I think that was like just me guarded again.
Of course, because again, it goes back to the origin of
she was very where she was very open.
Right. She was younger, right?
Yeah, like 4 years.
Okay.
4 years younger, 4.
Right.
But I fucking can't remember. It could be 5. But yeah, so a bit younger. But like she was invested, man. Like, and she worked hard, and she, like, everybody around me and everybody that I knew, like, she was very attractive. Not, you know, like whatever. A lot, like, it was always, you know, I'd always be like, well, fuck, you know, people are always hitting on her, and you know, she was a go-go dancer and taught, you know, dance classes and a whole bunch of shit, right? But
I'll need to see those pics afterwards.
Needless to say, she was a really good chick, and I just wasn't there, you know, like, to be honest, like, I don't know if I was even treating her well, like, you know, I might have been doing things on the side, but I was cool chilling at home, you know, and people are going to be like, you idiot, like, because some people know who I'm talking about, and they're going to be like, fuck, like, you got the chance and you would sit at home and rather play video games or, like, you know, get drunk with a couple of friends and then, you know, maybe make it work or do whatever. And I remember that you cause your own shit sometimes. So, like, I remember I was at her apartment, and she was off. Like, I knew something wasn't right. You know what I mean? Like, she was probably pissed off because I didn't go. She went back home, back home was far.
Yeah.
Like, it was like way up fucking, like, out of town, like fucking 8 hours.
Yeah.
And I didn't go, right? And she wanted me to, and I didn't. She came back, and then she was kind of like, you know, put off by me, I guess. And I guess people talked to her. Anyways, I'm like, what? You got a problem? Like, you know, I'm going to go to work. Like, you don't want to...
Yeah.
You don't see, and she's like, we need to talk. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
Kiss of death.
But at the time, I'm like, you know what? What are we going to talk about? And she's like, well, you know, I don't know if this is working. I'm like, oh, this isn't fucking working. Oh, okay. So this isn't working? I'm like, here's your fucking key. And I just took the key off my keychain and I put it on, you know, whatever, at her front door. And she's like, well, no, don't overreact. I want to talk to you. Like, I'm not saying... I want to break up, and I'm like, you know, it sure fucking sounds like it. You know what I mean?
That
in my
she's
mind,
pregnant. That's how.
Can I say something?
No,
real quick?
but that's
Can I say something really quick?
Yeah.
This not. I mean, it reminds me of like when my brother-in-law told me about my sister, and while I was telling him my relationship problem, and he said, "It sounds like." However your mom raised you as a single mom, she never really fully you never saw a working relationship and how it worked. Because with him and my sister, before they were married, they were together, like, you know, for at least for a year at that point. And my sister just decided just to leave. She was like, "It's over. We got in a fight. I'm leaving. And he's like, what? Like, no, we can. It's the whole thing.
Well, I think if he told her,
The thing
like,
is,
I don't know if this is working, I think that would then.
Oh, yeah. It was. I think it was something like that. Like they were at like a bridge or some bridge where like you either got they could have went either way. They could have just broken up. But he was like, to him, like growing up with like, regular functioning
They
parents.
must love him airing out all their dirty laundry.
I'm sure. But I just think like I think like I thought it was great advice what he said, because I think growing up, like, we just really had our mom. So that's what our mom would have said.
Yeah.
Our mom would have said, if you don't like him, you leave him. Because she had divorced my dad.
Yeah,
Right?
that would have been. Yeah.
And so, like, I think that's why I've always had like a skewed, idea of relationships, because I never saw a proper one working.
Yeah.
So I always just had the idea of it.
I don't
But, like,
think there ever. To be honest, I
there's
don't
never-
think there is a proper one.
Well,
you know?
there's never a perfect one. But I
Like-
think like he at least knew from his parents that like people get in fights, and if you love that person,
You'll
you
fight
try
for it,
to try to work it out. And then so it's like, I don't know. That's all I kind of thought from that was like that reminded me of like I think like certain people have like a weird perception of fights, or how she approached that was just like, maybe that's like she's just like,
No,
well,
I think I pushed her to the wall. Where this was like a defining, like this moment, like why she was acting that way, and what she said was she wanted to have a talk, and basically like we could have stayed together at that time, but like things would have had to have changed. Like she probably wanted to really invest in the relationship, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know why at that time that was happening to me, but I was like, maybe I wanted out, maybe at the time I was like, you know what, fuck this, and I'm gone. And needless to say, about, I don't know, a week or shortly after, I reconsidered my decision, right? Like, and she was trying to get a hold of me, and I was ignoring the calls, and then I broke my phone. Like, it was a whole fucking thing that went on, but I couldn't. And then by the time I got around to like talking to her, because she went away again, because I guess like the breakup, fucked her up. She came back a while later, and she was seeing somebody, and I was like, okay. And she was conflicted, and I remember I was like, I did do a little bit of investing in it then, to be like, well, I was wrong, like, and they say it's true, like you don't realize what you have until you don't have it. And and she was torn up about it and like conflicted, but she did not come back. Yeah. And she stayed with the other guy, and
don't you think
I
that
just
like
was
people,
like, okay, I fucked that up.
People like, I feel like even some people will say like, oh, you're well spoken, or certain things where you hear people who are like, but I feel like there's so much of me that I can't describe, like emotionally or like how I feel. You know what I mean? Like,
well, this was the thing, is that she didn't realize. Well, no,
I just think like everybody. That's why these things break down, is because there's stuff that you could fix, but you just don't even know how to describe it as a person, what's going on with you, or the other thing, or like how you feel about another person, because sometimes people might hurt you, or people make you feel a certain way, and you're like, you don't even know what the fuck it is. It's just like some weird feeling in the air. And I think like it's just like, even if you can be well spoken about it, you still can't really describe it that well.
No, right. And I dated somebody, and that was their biggest thing. They're like, you really closed off. And I'm like, well, I am and I'm not, and it takes a while for me to get to the point where you're indisposable to me, to be honest. Like, it's just how I think. And then, I guess maybe they didn't really take that to be truth. Although, I would see them as much as I could when I could. And at the end of the day, I probably dropped the L word, and then they'll probably say, like, after I said it a million times. And I'm like, but it's not a contest, right? You got me to where for a really long time, this person would try to get me to where they were in the relationship, which is, very invested. And I was there. I wasn't not there, but then they got me there, all of a sudden. And what kind of jogged it was the finding out there was another guy making a play. Just chatting, right? Guy. Just chatting, and that is what caused me to really evaluate things, right? And that's when I realized she has bypassed the wall, you know. It's more than just, you know, somebody I'm dating. And I told her, and I don't know if she believed it or not, but like, this is what she wanted for a really long time, you know, like she was fucking waiting for this. And then she finally got it. And then, like, I basically find out she's banging another guy right after I tell her that. And then, like, wants to, I don't know. And then there was, like, 2 of us involved. Like, not at the same time, but I'm saying, like, you know, it was all just a complete debacle. And, yeah. So so basically what I'm saying is what developed when I was young that I became very weary of letting people in. I held for a really long time and selectively let people in. I don't even know I let them in fully. But then when somebody just unrelentingly is there and unrelentingly is part of it and just is like accepting, or what I thought accepting of who you are. And then you're like, fuck, you know, and then you realize it. And then you're like, you know what? It's almost like fucking, you know, it's almost like you're ready to put on the Superman suit. Yeah. You know, it's been frozen in ice. Yeah. You can't get to it. And you don't, you haven't been able to fly.
Yep.
You've been doing a lot of shit, running around. Just now you're ready. You're like, maybe I'm ready. And you're like, okay, let's thaw that bad boy out. Let me try it on. And you're like, I kind of like the way it feels.
Yeah.
And she's been wanting you to put the suit on for a long time.
Yeah.
And then you put the suit on. You put the Superman suit on, and you realize she's already fucking Green Lantern. And it's like, what the fuck?
Little, too late.
What were you doing? Why did you leave me?
The green ring can make a really big cock.
No, and then you find out whatever the past she did the whole Justice or the whole Injustice League.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy fuck, what is she
that would
capable
be-
of?
that
And
would
I
be
guess I'm happy I found out, but I'm just
be a
saying,
good
why
porn.
lead me to
Injustice League. Not Justice League.
I'm pretty sure there is.
Injustice.
But, yes.
This is what I'm
get it.
saying. That was probably the biggest problem that I had. Don't invest in me. Don't invest in me.
I'm gonna say,
man.
Murray, you have two lovely gentlemen with you tonight, myself and Kevin. You can always let down your tractor beam.
No, you know what it is?
Here's the thing.
I'll be honest. Your story basically painted two Murrays. You had the young innocent Murray who got fucking burned by a high school check. So then you became a fucking hard stone Iron Man, and then you went too hard. You went too hard. You became your shields got you Tony Stark the fuck up and became too fucking ironed up that nothing got in. Finally, someone wanted to fucking get in, you know, but then too little, too late. So
no, but when you are a fortified city, when you are fortified, you are prepared for incoming battle. You are prepared for all the nonsense because there's other battles that I've had. There's other battles where I was like, you know what? I let other people kind of get close.
Yeah.
And what happened? The same kind of nonsense.
But not all the way.
Or I realized, you know what? I'm not getting involved with them. Too much drama. Or they fucking actively fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, or fucking, you know, another guy. Oh, just a friend, whatever. So I got used to it. I'm like, you know what? I'll pick and choose my battles. I want to get people close. That way they can have all the friends they fucking want. We'll just have fun.
Right.
You know, whatever. And if we date, we date. And when somebody lingers for a bunch of years, right? And somebody's beating you down, you know, dating your ass or whatever.
Yeah.
You eventually give in, right? Like I did. So like this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about somebody that was hanging around lingering for so long.
They fought,
that they finally got me to the place that they wanted.
Yeah.
But then, you know, they just couldn't hang on a little bit longer. They didn't like the Superman suit.
Right.
Because they were busy, you know, taking Green Lanterns off. And that's fucked up, right?
Yeah,
so that really, I gotta tell you, it really
one.
shakes my confidence in society.
Yeah.
And I can say, like, maybe I did it to myself. You know, people is gonna say, "Well, you did it to yourself."
When it comes to this
and
shit,
I'm gonna be
there's blame to go around everywhere.
Maybe I did, but you know what? Fuck her, man. She did it. It was her that did it.
Yeah.
You know, she made that choice. She wanted all this shit with me, and she just couldn't wait.
Do you still have contact with this chick though?
No,
at all. None.
No, the minute everything broke down, like that was it.
Right. If let's just say in a fucking universe, you see her walking down the street or whatever, you see her, what would you say to her?
She should steer clear.
She should steer clear.
She should steer clear.
Okay.
You know, like it's just one of those things.
Right,
you know,
right,
like
right,
there's no. I don't want to talk. There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
There's nothing to talk about, man.
Fair enough.
And like we were tight. You know, like
Right,
that's
yeah.
the thing. Like there's girls out there that everybody has. Kirk talked about it, where you're
Yeah.
tight.
Yeah.
It develops something else, whatever, and they've chosen that they don't want you in
Yep.
their life, in the future, and they can be naive. Like I'm not gonna sit here, and I've said it. Like I'm not gonna be a friend. I'm not sitting there going, you know, because you know, what fucking person is gonna sit there and be like, well, I don't want to lose you out of my life. You know what? And honest to God, I believe they think that that's gonna work. I think they think that can work.
Yeah.
And like that's embarrassing. Like just don't say that shit. Like
I think once the lines
it's
have been-
embarrassing to you. It's hurtful to the other person in a way.
Yeah.
Like just fucking you, and especially if you're wronging that person, monkey branching and lying to everybody involved.
Yeah.
You know, shut the fuck up. You know, and go and get your head examined because there's obviously something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You know, and go and seek some help.
I already know something's wrong with me. I take medication.
There you go. But
At least you're doing
maybe
something
the
about
other
it.
chick, you know,
I feel like it's not like a personality defect. It's just
Right.
like a thing, you know. But
Yeah.
like, I feel like maybe that part of me wonders though, like the way I start liking people, if it has anything to do with like how I think mentally. Like maybe I'm too overly positive about it. Like I'm like, well, of course they would want to have sex with old Kirk. You know, I don't know.
I don't
I mean,
know.
like, and it's like I think like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Why not? Hey, why not get in this?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
You got an invitation to the Kirk zone.
I've had,
Yeah.
It's a 3-mile radius of pure orgasm. It's not true. It's you know, allegedly.
I've had girls curious, like, you know, about me
Yeah.
or whatever, or even just be like, you know, well, how, like, you know, how come you're with your, like, how'd you end up, why are you still with your girl?
Right.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And I'm like, to be honest, she was a winner.
She stuck around?
She didn't do that shit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And like in the past, like when I was younger, you know, guys, maybe you got to date 2 girls because I'm not. We talked about that. Like I'm not like. I think you can very easily love 2 people. I think you can very easily have that situation where you can be like, you know, if whatever the fuck develops, you're in over your head in one thing. All of a sudden that happens. But you know what? One of them's going to be the winner eventually.
Yep.
One of them is going to still be there at the end because one of them just ain't going to be able to take it.
What would you say that like your relationship now? You feel like you've come to this relationship maybe?
I don't really talk about my relationship, my current one. Now,
Well, I'm not saying
that was kind of the thing. It's like when
I'm
you
not saying
like,
you to dive into it, but like, do you think like it's like you've gone to a good place because you had to like to figure out what you want, what's good for you? Like you became maybe a better person in a relationship as well, maybe through all this experience and also realizing
You become wiser.
Like it probably.
well, she's not acting like that, so we're good.
Yeah, but you know what I mean though. You
You know, like,
I think what I'm saying is like going through these other experiences maybe is like led you to somebody who's more of a perfect fit for you or a better fit for you. Is that what I'm trying to say? Or
You're basically asking, of all the fucking nukes you've taken, have you finally learned what you actually want? And you know,
because you were saying like experiences shape you, so those ones
Yeah.
shaped you to what not look for, or
Yeah.
like what you liked in them but didn't
You've
like.
learned to
well, no,
weed out.
I just said how it affected me.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, it affected me in a way that, you know, yeah. Well, it took a lot of work to get inside
right?
my perimeter defenses. You know what I mean? And like some people, it's easy. Like some people, you know, I've even dated, which is why like they're just like fucking overly, just immediately, like, you know, they're like head over heels so fast, and I'm just like, oh, okay, like whoa, like chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like I mean, whatever. Like you're cool. Like I'm down. Like just back up. And then you know what's funny? And then at the end, they fucking end up fucking you over anyways. So it's like that's what I've learned. That's what I'm taking from it is that you could meet somebody tomorrow, and no, I'm solid right now. Like you know,
Yeah.
we have our moments
During this
you know.
podcast, I got 2 new matches on OK Cupid, so I might have something myself. I'm mostly asking for my personal
you
reasons.
can date
I
want to date, and you'll never fucking like. This is why I think people, and I don't know, maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. Is like people are like you know, well, you know, I'm gonna date somebody that you know everything's in common. I don't know if that's a good thing.
No, I don't think that's a good thing.
I think you need time away, and like if somebody else thinks they know everything, or like they're really good at something that you're really good at. You need stuff that's not yours or not theirs, like so you can talk about it and be like, oh, at least have like let them show an interest in your shit. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And that's I think how you make it work is
it's like,
putting an effort in.
A good example of this is that my grandma used to try to golf with my grandpa. But he curbed that shit like 40 years ago.
Well, he doesn't want her there.
And so he's had his golf time.
Yeah, that's his time.
Like for 6 months of the year when he golfs, he's got him and his buddies golfing. Yeah. Her left-handed clubs have been sitting in a closet for the last 40 years.
So I think
that's like
I agree with him.
Yeah.
And I like you need your time, whether it's doing whatever, gaming, playing darts. Working on your car,
pumping iron,
hitting the gym, whatever it is, man. For some people it's great, but I think that like for more importantly, people who get out of a relationship and immediately hop into something that they think like, oh, I'm going to do all this shit with this other person, if I did that previously into a rebound, I think that's all wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah. To be like, I'm just gonna like fucking do everything this person does, and I'm gonna revolve my life around this person. Well, it's not gonna work. Like either that or you're pathetic. It's one. That's how I look at it. And like,
I told Kevin this that like I'm more of an introvert, really. So, but like the goofy comedian comes out because I feel like I have to entertain people. So the longer I hang out with people,
I'm outspoken myself.
Yeah, so I feel like the more I hang out with people, I'm acting like myself, but like a bigger version of myself.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I gotta entertain
turn it
them.
up a notch.
I gotta entertain them. I gotta make them laugh.
Well,
and especially for women,
if you
I
go
do
somewhere.
that.
But if you go somewhere,
especially for women,
let's say I take you. Let's say there was like a function, like a birthday or whatever, just something, and like I take you there, right? I'm accustomed to being.
Well, you don't want to take me though.
No. But I'm like not an asshole. But I'm just saying like I will become a flame in the place. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'll hold a conversation with whoever. I'll talk about whatever. Like if I'm having a drink, like if I like, in the past, like if I dated a girl and she's like, oh, I have to go to this, can you come? Like, I know you probably don't want to. I'll be like, all right, I don't really want to, but I'll go. They don't have to worry about me. Like I'm going to do what I do. Right. So I'm not saying I'm tearing up the joint, but I'm just saying like I've always figured that at that point that's very an attractive feature to be that person in that environment that can hold your own, having a conversation where you can do that.
Yeah.
Where other options for them would be sitting in the corner sipping a beer, not talking to anybody or not being able to talk to anybody because they're dense in the head, right? So they can't have a conversation with somebody about politics or fucking whatever fucking small talk is going on. They don't want to be there, or they're not going to be there. They're going to be like, or they get dragged, Yeah, and I think you're somebody that would be open to doing those things.
Yeah, I feel like it's because from being a comedian, I feel like I have to put on a show all the time with people. Like
that's what it turns into. It's putting on a show. It's
kind of like
I've been there. I do it.
I've heard it explained that like what I probably have because I'm not an introverted introvert. It's like you're an extroverted introvert. Basically, someone who can turn it on. But then like my thing is I really have to be alone. Like for every hour that I'm like in the on mode, I gotta have 2 hours where I'm offline. I have to go totally offline.
Every normal person needs.
That's why I like fucking driving. That's why I like fucking driving because like.
I'm just saying I can't have. I've always had problems with girlfriends where it's like we spend too much time together, and I just like I can't do it.
No, I know. It's like you lock yourself in the washroom and they're banging on the door, going, "Are you okay in there?" It's like, just fucking leave me alone. No, I'm
It's
kidding.
like I can only perform so long, you know.
I get it, man. You need time. You need time.
So I think like but I like being alone, but still like it's definitely something I have to build. It's like an energy bar.
I agree.
And, like
with you.
you have to grow it, and then it gets depleted, and then you have to cycle it. You know.
But like I said, a good example is like, because like I've dated some girls in the past where they really like, that's what attracted them to me, was that in a group setting or in an environment where other people that they've dated or other people that are interested in them would cave under that pressure, or just sit in the corner and be quiet and just sip a beer, or not even want to go. I'm doing that, and at the same time I'm looking across at them from one side of the room, and I'm keeping it interesting for them, and I'm doing my own thing with them while I'm in that environment. So that's one thing, but then they also hate that once they're dating me, because I still do that.
So,
but
who do you think is the better version of Murray? Fucking old innocent Murray who whatever, or today Murray, the guy who's Iron Man'd up? And
I'm definitely more responsible now.
Okay.
I like Murray the most right now.
I'm curious. I like how I turned out.
Okay.
I'm not going to say I don't.
Okay.
Like, we all have regrets. I think that I would be curious if I could visit that alternate reality, that alternate dimension, to meet that guy who didn't make certain decisions, when I was in my early 20s or whatever, like that took a different path.
So you're saying you would change things?
Well, that maybe like took,
because if you change
that
things,
wasn't so happy-go-lucky, trying to be funny, to disarm people, to hide from like real emotions. You know what I mean? Because people would say that about me. They'd be like, "Well, you try to be funny or make everything a joke because you don't want to deal with the seriousness or consequences or the reality of your situation or relationship or emotions." And I'd like to see what that guy's up to. Because. Yeah. I'm smart enough to know that he'd probably be a serious dude.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he'd be better or if I'd be better off or not. I'm sure as shit probably wouldn't have had as much fun, but maybe I did. I don't know.
Whatever, man. There's no. At the end of the day, you can't change shit.
No, I like who I am today.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of bad choices, man, and like that's the thing. I don't blame everybody that's wronged me.
Right.
I blame myself for a lot of that, because I should have been smart enough.
Responsible, yeah.
Well, I should have been smart enough and wise enough, taking and learning from all my experiences and red flagging or being like, whoa. And I thought I did that, right? But it was like I just kept building this barrier.
Yeah.
Rather than not involve myself with somebody, I would just barrier it up and be like, well, you just have to work extra hard to get through it.
Right.
And then they would. But then, you know what I mean? It's like, that's when they can inflict the most amount of damage on you.
Sure, once they know where your armor is.
Once they get through it, it's easy to slice or slip the knife in there.
Nuke the heart.
So, it's...
guys, can I make another statement?
Yeah.
So I was at place last night, party, right? Cool guy, Kirk, right?
Yeah.
Just macking on babes.
Okay.
So the girl I'm talking to
on chicks.
No, this is actually,
I got a buddy out there.
This is a dumb story.
Who lives in Vancouver, and that's macking on chicks. Isn't that right, buddy?
Oh yeah.
Andrew, you know what I'm talking about.
No, it's like, remember last podcast we talked about how you can tell when a girl likes you when she does the hair.
Right.
This girl was doing the hair.
Or keys your car and kills you. That's
I
right.
was telling her a really funny story about how my sister puked in grade 2.
You really throwing your sister under the bus.
No, the story is really funny, and she started like twirling her hair because I was just making her laugh so much.
Oh yeah.
And
you get a number? You get her number?
No, but I got her friend on Facebook right now. I was trying to add her.
You got her friend on Facebook, or you got her?
Well, she was, because I met her friend earlier,
right?
So then I remembered her name.
Right.
I forget this girl's name. So it was. I talked.
Oh man, I've been there.
But like it was like Maddie. It was like Maddie or something, right? It was kind of dark.
Hey, you.
But she could tell she was cute.
Okay.
But then her other friend I remembered for sure because she's friends with my friend.
Okay.
And she's in comedy.
Right.
So then I just made the ad and sent a message, just like.
And then, hey, who's your friend?
Who's that? Who's that hair twirling girl who wants to ride the Kirk whirl? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just just being funny because we mentioned that last podcast.
Right, fine, fair enough.
And I just wanted to make you guys think I was cool again.
We know.
You don't.
We know you're cool. Yeah.
So I mean, I've like, it sounds like I've had a few more experiences that have shaped me mentally, emotionally than maybe you guys, maybe more than the common person, man. Like, I got friends, like people I know, and they don't, like, they've got like one experience, whatever.
I feel like it's on the extreme,
and then they're good. Like, they're like, all right, whatever, but they're not good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I talk to them about, like, hey, remember that time you dated what? And like, they don't want to talk about it, man. Like, they'll be like, oh fuck, why you got to bring that up?
So we've yet to hear from Kevin. We want to know who nuked your heart and how does it feel?
At the time now or at the time?
Tell us about your greatest love tragedy.
Jesus, fuck you.
Who is your Juliet, your Romeo?
I would have been dead if this was a Romeo and Juliet story, but no.
No, I mean, like, your sexual relationship with this person is dead now, obviously. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us more.
I'm gonna Christopher Nolan this bitch. I'm gonna start with the end. March 4th, 2014.
Wow.
The day I got fucking nuked. That's the day. That's the fucking day it happened. But prior to that, let's go.
What day was it though?
March 4th, 2014.
Oh, okay. I have a cousin whose birthday is March 4th, just so you know.
Happy birthday.
Ava, if you're listening, you probably shouldn't be. You're 12 years old.
Right. But yeah, so I got nuked on that day. But prior to that, the situation was I was at a job, and basically I was working at the job. It was kind of like, at this point in my life, I was like, not really knowing where I was going, kind of fucking the dog a lot. And I was on my way out of leaving that job or whatever. And all of a sudden, this new girl starts, right? And it was kind of like, something, right? It's a certain je ne sais quoi or whatever, right? And so I'm on my way out or whatever. So I'm not really trying to invest in this girl. But then all of a sudden, she turns out to be pretty cool. She actually ends up getting my number because I think my birthday was around or whatever. She ends up like fucking thing, and she starts doing like, amazing things. Like, she buys me a bottle of vodka, which is a way to my heart, and she's pretty cool. But at the same time, there's like another guy at work, another guy. And
dun, dun, dun.
Do you think the another guys have a podcast?
The another guy.
There are arch nemesis. But yeah, so there's this other guy at work, and me and him, we were cool. We worked together. We were maybe there for like 2-3 years. We're just cool. Cool dudes.
They want to punch our faces. We want to punch their faces.
Yeah.
They have slightly smaller dicks, as I like to say.
Slightly, yeah. So
no proof yet, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So anyways, so basically, to break it down, new girl starts. I'm working, but I'm leaving. This other guy that I'm working with, he's a cool dude, whatever. So she's kind of like, so apparently she just got out of a high school breakup. She got out of something, and she's, I guess on the market or whatever. Now I'm not really interested because, again, I'm trying to get the fuck out of this place, right? So she ends up starting kind of hanging out with the other guy, right, and all that stuff. And now at this time, this guy, he's kind of he's dealing with another chick. He's kind of whatever, cool dude or whatever. So
doesn't matter what his situation is. We're talking about your situation.
Fair enough. So
he could eat paint for all I care.
Right. So fair enough. So yeah, she's dealing with that now. At this point where we're starting to I guess you could say I'm getting myself I'm getting myself into the friend zone. Right, but like again, I'm like whatever. I'm on my way out, so things are progressing along. They're doing their thing. I'm kind of whatever. Me and her are becoming closer friends, and then I guess along the way, eventually, I'm like, she's kind of there's something there, right? Again, it didn't hit me on the nose or whatever. It was just like there's something there, right? Like she's like, even though she was younger at the time, she was into the same kind of music and shit as I was. Like I was surprised. Same kind of dirty jokes. Like she was actually a fucking cool chick, right? So then one day we go to the movies or whatever. It was supposed to be me. It was supposed to be a triple date or whatever. Me, this girl, and the other guy. It was supposed to be a friend, like co-worker friend thing. But this other guy had to dip because he had to go bang another chick, which I later told her. But anyways, so me and this girl end up going to movies together. So that would be considered the first date or whatever, or first hangout or whatever, right? And while we're hanging out,
That's a hangout.
it's a hangout.
That's a hangout.
It's a hangout. So now at this point, like
It could turn into
Yeah.
hangout / date,
yeah,
depending on the hangout.
it was
If your dick is hanging out later, that's a
fine,
date.
fine. Okay, so in this case, it was just a simple.
boobs are hanging out later.
It was just a simple hangout. But at the end of the, because we watch a shitty movie, and at the end of the movie,
What was the movie?
Riddick, Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh God.
I have no idea. I have no idea why I watched it.
No, that's bad.
Oh man, you know what? Like I saw La La Land last year on a date, and it was great. I was like, I can't believe this is and it was my idea. I was like, she was like, do you want to go see that Patriot movie with Mark Wahlberg? And I was like, nah, that's about like the Boston Marathon bombing. That's depressing. Let's go see La La Land. I totally set myself up for a way more romantic movie. And it's just like I could sense the you know, it's like
Yeah. So, anyways, after the movie,
Who picked the movie?
I think I did.
I can say this: you pick a lot of bad movies to go see.
It depends, but
you made me go see the
no. At the time, it was that
it opening weekend?
No, it was like on a Toonie Tuesday. It was a discount day, so no, it wasn't. But anyways,
I might have seen like one good movie with you all time.
I like how you related the movie to Toonie Tuesday and KFC.
oh fuck, my bad. Whatever. It was a cheap fucking day.
But
Oh, savings.
get KFC first, and then go to
Anyways,
the cheap movie.
so at the end of the movie, we're hanging out or whatever, and we're just talking, and then I don't know. I pulled, I guess, the most bullshit move, but like she was like, oh, like she's like, I kind of really like this other guy, the other guy, and whatever, and she's trying to dig me for information, right? And at this time, I'm kind of like, I'm trying to back him up. I'm trying to cover for his shit because he's dealing with another chick. I'm like, bros before whatever. But then I eventually slip out. I'm like, hey, you're not taking this guy too seriously, are you? Because he's kind of he's dealing with shit, right? So what's it called? So I basically rat on him, right?
Well, you're thinking maybe you want to go to war right now, right?
I guess at that point, but I subconsciously.
But also, like, you're not ratting him out. Like, it's not like is he interested in her? Do you know this?
Yeah, obviously he wants this girl too, because the guy's a guy, right?
Just be like,
But it was a dirty play. Whatever.
You know what? I
Whatever.
think he's got some girlfriend he just went and saw. That's why he's not here right now.
Yeah. Anyways, I let one of those out, right? So anyway, she starts fucking like breaking down and kind of like, oh man, whatever, and I'm like, fuck, I got this. Like I like fuck, whatever, right? So I dig myself into this whole shit happens between them two, and then we eventually fucking said like, listen, you two are obviously dealing with your shit. Don't involve me. I tell the girl like straight up at that point, I'm like, listen.
Wait, back up.
Yeah.
So this girl, she starts seeing or dating that other guy.
Yeah.
The guy who was doing something with some other girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I tell them I don't want to be a part of that shit, right? Like I'm not interested in being.
Like I'm not focusing on the other guy because the guy's being a guy. Like he's doing his thing.
No, and that's the thing.
And at that age, I'm kind of respecting his moves right now.
Yeah, I don't knock it. Yeah, no, and but so anyways, I put the parameters up and I tell them this is how it is or whatever. But then so me and the girl start hanging out as just friends, right? Meanwhile, I'm slowly like again as an idiot because I guess whatever at this time. I get deeper into the friend zone because I don't know better, right? Like I don't, whatever, right? So I'm getting deeper and deeper and all that stuff. And then one day I eventually just fucking break and I'm like, listen, I fucking like you, right? And all that stuff. I confess and I fucking vomit all the feelings out, right?
Yeah, she already knew that though.
She probably already knew, right?
No, she did.
Well, the thing is, and see at that point, like I'm like, because at this point she's already complaining about the other guy, like he's drinking, gambling, blah 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 blah, and I vomit all the feelings, and I'm like, okay, fuck, it's done. I'm gonna, she's gonna be like, oh well, I still like him, and you can fuck off. But no, she actually ends up saying that she likes me too, right? So I'm like, this is fucking cool, and that's when I think we end up going to watch Ride Along with Kevin Hart. So
I assume you picked that one too.
I picked that one. Yeah. So I picked that one, and yeah, so this was like around November. So anyways, we're dealing with that shit. And so she's still, kind of dealing with the other guy. I'm in the back corner, just kind of, I'm just kind of doing my thing and like, waiting for the day, She at this point, like, the tennis ball is in her court, right? She can either, end it with him, come over to me, or just be like, no, you know what, I actually want thing, and then whatever. And I'm in that zone, right? And I'm just whatever for maybe like a month or so, whatever. And it's a shitty thing because, and to make things worse, we're all working at the same fucking place, so all this fucking drama's going around, right? So whatever. So so that basically is going on, and then I think around New Year's or whatever, instead of hanging out with her, instead of her hanging out with him because he had some other shit to do. I'm not gonna speculate or whatever. She ends up hanging with New Year's for me, and we go together to a bar.
Well, I mean, I get it. Like, it's at the point you said to her, you have feelings for her.
Yeah.
She, at this point,
she's got.
This is where, being a guy who has been on both sides of this fence, been the boyfriend
and the other guy
and this other guy, right? Like, I've been on both sides many times.
Yeah.
And sometimes you win and sometimes you lose on both sides.
Yeah.
It's on her, though, to tell you, well, I like you too, but I'm still, doing this.
Yeah.
So, I need you to know, right now, or not even right now, because that leads you on, just to be like, that's not an option.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
We can be friends, or, well, I just want to be friends, and then it's up to you.
Exactly. Tennis, like
whether you're gonna maintain that and be like, okay, well, I'll just swallow what I, I'll just be like, all right, I told you how I feel,
and
and we'll just move on.
Yeah.
Forget it never happened. However, she didn't do that.
No. She did not. She led me down deeper into the hole. So we hang out for New Year's.
Can I say I've been listening very intently the whole time?
Yeah, Kirk. I know.
And
yeah,
I think you're a great person.
Yeah,
and you deserve better than this bitch.
Okay, hold on. We're not even there yet. I'm still building up.
I don't like how this woman treated my man.
Listen, you haven't even heard the.
You're like my man.
I'm still building up the fucking falling in love part.
Let him get it out.
You're my hetero life mate.
Okay,
and I take offense to anyone who fucks with you.
Anyways, long story short is no, not long story short, but we start hanging out. I'm kind of like, again, I'm not. So yeah, we're supposed to. So we're hanging out on New Year's. We both go home. One of my buddies Joe ends up driving us home. She ends up throwing up in his car. Long story short, we get back to her place, and this is New Year's fucking Eve. I'm thinking about fucking going for the kiss, even though she has vomit. But
you don't need to specify.
But at the back of my mind, I'm like, wait a minute, she's still with the other guy. Whatever. Look
at you taking the respectful road.
I took so a little bit of the.
Although, I mean, at the end of the day, she is drunk to the point where she is throwing up.
Yeah.
So most human beings might not take advantage of the other person.
I'll be honest. I think I left.
Although most people do sober up after a nice.
I'll be honest. I think I left her on the fucking door. On her doorstep. I don't know if she actually got in the door. It was one of those moments. I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. And then
so you left the.
You didn't.
I left her
super drunk, possibly pass out girl outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, but I am pretty sure that I've puked a few times, like
You
back in the
didn't- you
day,
didn't
and
try
girls
to-
have just ran up to me and like tried to make out with me, like
You didn't
right
try to
after.
slip
I'm
one
like,
in her
uh-oh.
mail slot or anything.
No. So yeah. So that happens now. So after that New Year's, we talk about that shit, and maybe a couple weeks, she ends up breaking up with the other guy, right? And like you can see the fucking
So she was actually like still talking to you after this,
yeah.
after the abandonment of New Year's.
Shoot, because I told her, listen, I was gonna land one on you, but you had vomit and
We're super drunk and passing
and
out.
you still got a boyfriend, right?
So
and she's like, well,
she should be happy she wasn't sexually assaulted. Is what you're saying?
yeah, fine, fair, yeah. So, anyways,
I'm just kidding.
And you're like, and the videotape will show that I did not do any of that. That's just the first tape.
you got to stay safe, guys. You got to stay safe.
that middle part. That
It was just on your clothes.
Anyways, yeah. So she ends up breaking up with the guy, and you can see the switch and change. That guy's now he has a dark cloud, and I'm fucking walking around like king shit. I'm like, things are great, and
So she's starting to slowly, move over a bit.
yeah. So she moves over, and then finally, Valentine's Day comes around, right? Valentine's Day comes around, and
Saint Valentine.
Saint Valentine's Day. And by the way, we end up going to a movie, and I gave her the option. I'm like, because at this time it's like, I think the movie was Love Actually, the chick flick, or RoboCop, the reboot. And I told her, listen, I've been picking the last two movies. They've been pretty whatever. Your pick. She fucking picks RoboCop.
Yeah, and
Wasn't
I've seen
that a-
both those movies, and I got to be honest, I think Love Actually is a better movie.
No,
okay.
Well, Love Actually was like in the early 2000s. It wouldn't have been that.
Well,
It was the same time as RoboCop. But it was
There was a movie called like Valentine's Day that came out on Valentine's Day.
No,
wasn't that a horror movie?
Maybe. No,
Endless
there was
Love. I don't know. It was some kind of love fucking girl.
Okay,
movie, whatever.
RoboCop.
Long story short, we watch RoboCop. Fucking things are cool. We go back to her place.
But Love Actually, great movie.
Okay, it wasn't
Right,
Love
that's
Actually.
why I was like, it's a better movie.
It wasn't Love
That's
Actually.
definitely-
It was
Like if you said the original RoboCop, no, then that trumps all movies.
Yeah.
But
this wasn't about the movie. Okay.
I love when he
It was
shoots
a
the guy's
reboot?
hands off. That's so fucking crazy.
in the first one,
I mean, remember the Red Foreman guy? He shoots off RoboCop before he's RoboCop's hands. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
"Fuck
yeah,
you,
yeah.
cop!" And it's like the
All
most brutal shit, right?
Right.
Like, that
it
movie
Anyways.
is. Well, he stabs him in the neck later.
yeah, he gets him back. But I'm just saying that, like,
Oh, he gets him
it's
back,
like-
all right. Although
I mean,
he's
as a-
dead and missing half
I'm
his
just
head.
gonna say, as a kid, I remember seeing that movie, just thinking it's just like action, kind
Yeah.
of fun, but it's pretty fucking serious.
Yeah. Anyways, after watching the rebooted RoboCop, which was all right or whatever,
Still not as good as Love Actually.
fine. We go back to her place. She ends up fucking baking me like a cheesecake, strawberry cheesecake, which is like one of my favorites. And like we end up going up to the bedroom, doing all that shit, and we do the deed or whatever, right? And
So, are you guys like officially going out at this point?
No, there
or
was
is
no
this
official
kinda
title.
like-
So this is a point where she had broken up with the other guy,
But sounds like
and now was seeing Kevin, I guess.
she's trying to lock you down, maybe.
not lock me down. It was
but
just,
has said that she likes
She knows.
him too.
She's like, she probably wanted to see the other movie, but she saw RoboCop because she knows it's you. Gets you the cheesecake, makes it, then makes some sweet loving to you.
Well,
I mean, she's making all the moves. She's saying something right there.
anyways. So like, yeah, this is going on. I'm fucking at the top of the world. This, Valentine's Day cheesecake. Like, fuck, life's fucking good. And things are going along, and then 2 weeks go by or whatever. Now, again, the scenario is me, her, and this other guy work at the same place. So, shit got, we had to sneak shit. Like, I'd be picking her. Like, obviously, I'm at her place, and I got to drive. I drop her off first, and then I come. Or like shit got very fucking sneaky, right? And all that shit, right? So,
Why did you have to sneak her out? Did I miss something?
no, because we all work at the same place, and we didn't want shit getting out.
I know why.
But they weren't dating anymore, though, correct or no?
They just broken up.
Did
Oh.
you give a shit if shit got out?
Co-workers, I mean, to be
Like,
honest,
what does it matter?
No,
like
it-
I'm saying, in your
yeah.
position, did you give a shit, or was it more she didn't want.
She would have lost face if people found out, because
of course
there was a because here's
of course she would have. But why face to who?
To everybody else.
Okay, yeah, but that's what's happening. But or is it because she doesn't want the other guy to find out? That's the only reason.
Yeah, fine, that too. Fine, fair enough. So
but then who gives a shit?
But out of courtesy to her, because again, at this point, I fucking cared about her. I was like, I'm not going to put you through that shit. Let's sneak around. Whatever. Let's fucking keep the shit on the down low, or whatever.
So once again, though, if he had found out, he was within full right.
He had full right, 100%. I agree.
Full right. Okay.
He had full right. He had full right.
Just letting you know.
100%. He had full right to go. He definitely could have gone.
Could you have taken him if it would have come to that? Would you have fought this guy?
I was a little bit heavier back then. I could have definitely taken him.
I feel like one good momentous punch from you could probably knock most people out.
Nah, it depends.
Like Hulk smash.
Just like, yeah, you getting really angry and taking like a running stab at somebody with a fist, I think would be a lot. I've
never actually had to use full rage. Like I used full rage once.
Just like how physics works.
I hit a guy once full rage, did nothing. It was crazy.
Force of your punch equals mass of you times acceleration, how fast you're punching. As long as you're punching pretty decently, you're gonna fucking knock somebody out.
Okay. Anyways,
I'm just saying.
It never got to that point because
you're like
physics with Kirk in Kirk's corner.
I look at you and I think like a younger buttered bean right there.
Wow.
No,
thanks.
No, I look at him and I think like kind of like a big boss man.
Oh yeah.
I like to think of a Roberto Duran.
No, I got a better one. Have you guys seen that movie, the animated movie Moana? He's the Rock.
Samoan, yeah. Anyway, Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm so sorry I let that go there.
Anyways,
you're a powerful punch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can. Okay.
So you're sneaking around.
We're sneaking around
at the work.
All this because I want her to save face or whatever. But 2 weeks go by and eventually I get the we need to talk, right? You know that we need to talk, right? So we meet up behind a Wild Wing. I remember this shit vividly. We meet up and...
Did you at least eat some wings first?
No.
She took you to the wing place and didn't let you eat any wings?
No. We met in my car. It was fucking March, right? March 4th, 2014. So...
Oh, yeah. I have a...
Did you get there early to get
cousin
some
who
wings?
has a birthday on March 4th. Oh, I already told that. I already said that. Sorry.
Yeah. Right, so okay, I'm about to fucking tell you about the
fact
biggest
that you
fucking
remember
nuke.
The fact that you remember that date, like
I'm about to know because it was a nuke. So I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming, right? Like or whatever. But like, so we meet up. She gives me a couple of my DVDs because I lent her DVDs. Anyways, long story short, and
do you remember what they were?
Rocky and 007 and Lion King. A couple of movies watched. Anyways,
were they Blu-ray?
DVDs at this point. But anyways,
Lion King is a great movie.
Yeah. And then at this point, so I knew things were. I knew this was it, right? So what I did was I collected like all the little fucking notes and knickknacks and fucking things, whatever, and I had it in a bag in a sack. And I'm waiting in my car, right? We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this the fucking right way, right? And so she comes in and she's like, yeah, so I've been talking and whatever, and I think I need to take a break, and just chill out. And I'm like, listen, here's your bag, right? And I just put the bag there, and she's like, opens it up and realizes, well, what's this, right? So, I mean, if you want to get technical, it might have been a more preemptive strike, and I might have actually done the breaking up, but I don't know. But anyways.
Well, it doesn't matter. Well, she said she wanted to take a break.
So I'm like, okay, whatever. So, and I'm like, so what are you going to do? Like, after the fact, are you going to go back to him? Are you going to come back? And she's like, oh, I don't know. And, basically, I'm like, well, let me save you the favor. I give you the bag and, whatever. And then that was pretty much it. It was pretty much like we just, whatever. And, you have to go back in the... That makes it worse when you break up with the chick and then you got to go back in the next day and...
Well, they do say don't shit where you eat.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So
unless you're a bird, they always eat out of bird baths and stuff. They shouldn't.
Jesus.
So.
Yeah,
that is true too.
So don't do what the birds do. It should be what the saying is.
So like, she didn't actually take the bag because I'll have a story about that. But she left the bag or whatever, And so, she basically breaks up, or we basically stop, or whatever. And then another 2 weeks go by, and they're back.
What was in the bag?
Like everything, like fucking. We're talking like
Because like I'm just picturing not you, but like somebody else would be like, "Here's your bag," and it'd be like a half-eaten Whopper. And like,
no,
just garbage.
no, fucking because like
stuff that she had.
She wrote like fucking like cards and shit for Valentine's Day. She fucking like she would leave notes and knickknacks. I made a CD for her, like a fucking.
I don't think you would normally give a girl back like.
Wait, so you were giving back all the shit she gave you?
Yeah.
Maybe then I would see her having a problem with that,
Which is probably why she left it.
Yeah.
Well, this is like I thought you meant like the stuff she like left at your place, like if she had like
No,
like a shirt or something or underwear.
I was just
or, like,
curious.
a
Continue.
comb.
It was stuff. So it was anyway stuff that reminded me of her. Anyways, long story short,
Oh, you should just burn that stuff.
I'll get to that bag story later. Anyways, yeah. So 2 weeks after by that or whatever, and she's back with the other guy. Right, and now I'm working at a and the thing is, the guy knew because like she obviously had, and to this day I still want to know what she had to say to that guy to like be like, oh yeah, no, that was nothing, right? Like I'm still curious about that, right? Like whatever. But so she ends up going back to that guy. We're all working again at the same place. Now the cloud is over me. This guy's fucking 6 feet high or whatever. He's whatever. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta get out of there, right? So then I end up getting a job or transferring to another location, like maybe an extra 45 minutes out of the way, just to fucking get out of there or whatever. A shitty position or whatever. But I'm like, I just got to get out of there. It still didn't, because like I still had to see the other guy because he ended up taking my old position as a driver, so he would come to my location. So for a while, and the thing is, like I was a shipper receiver. He was like a delivery driver. So there'd be that situation
the
where
whole thing is a mess.
where we'd have to communicate, but it was like just business only. Whereas before we were like boys. Now it's just like, yeah, fuck, here you go. Like it just became whatever, right? And but over time it kind of cooled down or whatever. And but then that's the thing. For a while, like every couple of weeks or months, she'd still contact me and be like, hey, what's up? Just checking on, and like. And then, I was like, okay, like that's the thing. It was the mixed signals of like, okay, wait a minute. So are you, making a play to come back? And it just started fucking with my head because I'm like, what does she actually want? Right. All this stuff. Right. And
because she probably knows that,
yeah.
She knows everything she did.
Oh yeah,
so
100%.
She's probably secretly trying to check in with you. Be like, like.
Oh, and there was a lot of guilt. Yeah, a lot of guilt on like every time she would be thinking. And listen, I played it cool. I was like, listen, I don't give a shit. Like, just whatever. Right? And I left the door open. Right? Like I was like,
why?
Huh? I don't know.
Why? But like, see, this is what I've learned.
Yeah.
Why?
Why leave the door
after
open?
all that? Like after first of all, what she kind of did to him,
yeah.
Then what she did to you,
oh yeah,
and then going back to him,
yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Okay,
she's a mess.
She is, but like
she's
again,
completely.
She's double fisting monkey branches right now.
Yeah, she tried the monkey branch and then didn't.
But there was that
back.
Okay, so there was that naivety, like which I don't have anymore. But it was like, it was more like, because she was younger at the time. She was like 19 or whatever. Or right. And it kind of like, oh, maybe it was an immaturity thing. Maybe she hadn't matured yet. It was a glass of, again, my glass of wine analogy comes from that. I'm like, maybe she just needed to be tucked away again. And then years down the road, I can sip on that wine. Whatever. It was one of those things.
So you feel like you would
we both know
go
people
out
that
with her
are
again?
older that handled situations similar very poorly, and they're not young.
So would you go out with her again? Would you consider having a relationship if ever came about that? If you felt like she had matured, like as you're saying, or what?
Today.
Also, I'm gonna need to see some pictures.
I can arrange that for you, maybe.
Great, Kevin.
No,
that's all we need.
If it comes down to today,
he fucking would.
I don't know.
I feel like you would, but I hope like you would. You'd have some basis other than just she wants to. Like you would be like, you would see maybe that
I might be like Murray, honestly. I'd probably be armored up.
Yeah, maybe,
I'd probably be like,
at this point, like it's like
I'm not going to turn down a fucking lay, but
I think when you get back with someone like this, you have to have your guard up, but also be like aware that like this, and it's like
it's not even that. It's why the fuck? Well, like I'm not saying you could maybe even meet her for a coffee, but it's why do you even want to talk to me?
On her part? Yeah, no,
I'm saying these are questions I'd be saying. I'd
no,
be
there's
like,
a lot
why
of questions.
do you even want to talk to me right now? Why are you here?
Yeah.
Well, I
Like,
feel
what
like
do you want from me?
I feel like you though, like the way you were talking about her.
Yeah.
It sounds like there was some genuine connection there. Who knows?
Oh no.
So I'm just
I imagine there would be because they work together,
Listen,
spend time.
I don't know what it was on her part,
but like I feel
but on
like
my part, yeah, I genuinely did like her.
Who knows, right? Like I've had bad experiences with that in the past. For me, like it's always like the rule they say like in something it's like the rule of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
The more they come back, the worse. It never really is on the same level as it was before.
For me, it wasn't the situation that fucking did it for me, that nuked it for me. It was that trust. It was that simple. I saw this person put everything that I fucking had, right, at that time or whatever, into it, and then blew up in my face. It was just like, I gambled the wrong way.
But who are you pissed off at then? Are you pissed off at her because she's acting like that? Or are you pissed off at you for like jumping into it, for being like...
For a bit, it was her, but then I don't know, self-reflection, it was me. I was just not ready. I was an idiot. If I could talk to that guy, that fucking young dude, I'd be like, you're an idiot. You didn't see the flags.
To yourself.
Yeah. I would straight up and I'd be like, you're an idiot and you fucked up. But here's the thing. I'll be honest. If you ask me today or whatever, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it because those lessons I learned and, also like what I went through to get to where I am today, it needed to be that way. It needed to be that way. So things after got fucking low, right? Like, so like again, I'm working at this place in Mississauga doing the thing, and literally like I think the first or second week after I worked there, my car, which I loved, my first car, ends up breaking down. So then I end up having to sell it and taking public transit, adding an extra hour or so to my thing.
Do you think that was like symbolic of your heartbreak, possibly?
Listen,
I think it's not symbolic of his heartbreak. I think cars, they know shit, and they'd be like, "You were an idiot."
No, because I wasn't paying attention.
And you need to be punished.
Your car was also neglected.
Just to explain things,
I was driving it without any oil.
I fucking I remember my car was in a Canadian Tire.
Hey, my 2001 Echo is still running.
Wow.
What does that mean? What is that supposed to mean?
It's just a good car, good make, good year.
But yeah, no, my car. Yeah, so my again,
I took good care.
So
of
my
it.
position was I'm working a dead end job. I have to.
Once again,
I have to see the guy that whatever, right? And I have no car, and I'm going nowhere. And then that's when I found you, Murray. That's when I came over.
That's when I
came. That's when I met. That's where you found me. And you can tell me at that state versus now.
Well,
there was a bit of a change.
Yeah, but I was like you were in the fire at that time.
Yeah,
that was a low point, man, and we all hit that low point.
Yeah.
It's just when I met you were disgruntled towards trust issues and women, and you're like, I get it. You were in a real weird place at the time.
Yeah.
And I do remember that. I remember trying to talk to you, and because I had been there, and try to be like,
I got sage advice, definitely
kind of talk you through it, and how like I would handle it, or how from both sides.
But even to this day,
I don't think you really listened to me then, but not that he listens to me now. But
I remember because I would come back and forth once in a while. I always call you up and hang out. But there was a certain point, I think you were getting over it, but you became like, your methodology was like the guy who wrote the game. like the handbook of how to pick
Okay,
up chicks.
for a period of time.
It was like Kevin was like, it's all about like just ask out as many chicks as just like I
No.
thought it was kind of like you had this mentality. It was like this doesn't seem like you, but if it's helping you get over your shit, I mean, like good for you.
For a period of time, I was reading fucking books. I'm talking, I was knocking back all these books on psychology, women, pickup artists, seduction, fucking you name it. I was devouring fucking knowledge.
Yeah, you were telling me stuff,
and I was
like,
telling you stuff.
I was
and,
like, you're in too deep, man.
And some of it was good. Listen, some of it was legit, but some of it was straight up fucking.
I read nothing.
Whatever.
You were like that in remember that scene from A Beautiful Mind where he's like don't go for the blonde, go for her uglier brunette friend. You're like but it mathematically makes sense.
I was doing scumball shit, right? Like I was saying, but like, you know, again, I was that's how I was dealing with it. I was like,
and those were some.
I was
those
trying
were
to
some
arm myself.
Dark nights for me too, friend.
I was
because
trying to-
we went to places that I don't want to talk about. And we did things with women who I'm not
Crown and
proud to
Dragon
say.
Wings.
Yeah.
No, but like that again, that's where like. Again, I needed to go there. Right? And
No, I'm just kidding. You
yeah,
know?
but no,
the
but to-
wings though, we definitely ate wings though.
yeah, but to this day, I still deal with like a couple of after effects. Like so, okay, so to go back to the bag, I ended up giving the bag to one of my boys, Joe, and I told him, listen, man, you know, like you got, I just don't have the power to fucking destroy this shit. You take it, right? And you know, my boy being my boy. Every once in a while when I like, you know, needed a little fucking motivation or whatever, he'd fucking threaten me with the bag. He'll be like, "Yo, I'll fucking burn it. I'll fucking
This sounds dysfunctional.
or I'll fucking throw it at you or
Why
whatever."
hasn't he just burned it though? You think he has? You think he
Well,
should?
I'll be honest. To this day, I don't really know. Like he once told me because
So you,
I think
you just like have to believe he did something. Like,
Well, no, I don't know.
There's no evidence of proof that it still exists.
because
no, it's there.
No.
No, he hasn't.
because we went camping one time.
This sounds
and
like
I-
ransom.
No,
notes.
we went camping one time and I opened up his trunk and I saw the fucking bag and I was like I had fucking PTSD. Like I was fucking like, oh fuck, I'm gonna open it up and as I'm going to fucking, he snaps it out of my hand. He's like, no, bro, you don't need this shit. And so like I don't know.
I
It's
just don't
weird.
know why he has the bag still. That seems
that's-
weird. And it's like an accessible place that you could run into, like if you're just around.
Well, no,
him.
he eventually got rid of it from his car, but he says it's somewhere in storage. I don't know. He might have chucked it out.
no, I think he kept it.
That means it's
whatever.
like under his bed, probably.
But no. But see, the thing is, he'll still do shit because the weird thing is, him and this girl are actually friends on Facebook. He kind of sneaks Facebook, but like they're friends on Facebook or whatever. And he'll every once in a while he'll fucking send me fucking pics, updates and shit. And he's my. But you know what? The reason why he did this was because he like. So when this all went
He's
down,
trying to keep you strong.
No. Because when all of this shit went down, that's when I started to make certain changes. Like I started to fucking go into the gym more. I started fucking hustling more. Started like focusing on shit and whatever. But every once in a while, I'd lull. Maybe I'd skip the gym a week or whatever, and he'd be like, "Yo, man, you should check out this pic," and then that would fucking start me up. And that
So
would,
he's using it to tap into anger.
yes. So he
And that's true. Yeah, I've heard people before say
Yeah.
that, like, you know, if you go through something like that
yeah.
and you start thinking about like that person
Yeah.
or that event or whatever,
Yeah.
just drop and start doing push-ups.
Yeah. Oh no,
The minute you start thinking about it, just drop and start doing push-ups.
I've increased bench presses because of this chick. So thanks.
It's a bizarre
Gains,
way.
bro.
It's a bizarre scenario with all that.
There's a saying, breakups build the best bodybuilders. So I don't know, but like, anyways, yeah. So like, you know, there were some positives that came out of that situation, you know, and all that stuff.
Not many.
I drive a better car now.
Not well. Yeah. Well, you're old. Yeah. It's you know, a few years have gone by, so you know.
4 years to be exact.
It's you know,
You know?
yeah, you know, well, I like your
Yeah.
Mustang. It's a nice ride.
Working on a Harley.
You got lousy suspension though.
I fixed that. So it's good
So the moral of your story,
now. Yeah.
why did you want to date her in the first place?
I mean, obviously there was attraction.
Knowing she had a dude, you worked with her, so there's that
Mhm.
attraction. Sure, like you like the way that she looked.
Honestly, it came down
But
to
what made her that good that it would affect you in
It was-
the way that it did?
it was these little things, these little fucking moments of we were like one time I was driving her home.
Like cheesecake.
This is like you want to hear well, there's the cheesecake. So our first kiss or whatever, like we were in bed or whatever, and I'm just like kind of like just I'm not making a move or whatever, and then I say, you know what, I want some cheesecake. And then I go in for it, right? So these little fucking things, but no, like it was the little things. Like for instance, so I was driving her home one day, or whatever, and this was early on when I didn't really know much about her, and I'm driving, radio's playing and ZZ Top's on the radio, and I'm like, yeah, it's a fucking good song, it's a cool song or whatever, but like I'm like, she's young, she probably is not into this shit, she's probably into EDM.
And she knows the song. She
loves this song, fucking blasted. I'm just like, fuck, this is a cool chick, she's fucking cool, and just certain things like we were just like, she made fun of Asian people, and that fucking, I don't know, like
okay then,
just certain things that fucking got me. I was like, this girl's a different girl than like, she's not, I don't know, it was like she was a different type, it was just different. I can't explain it.
So she was different. So you mean she was racist?
Maybe she was.
Like, I don't know.
I know girls like that, but I'm from Sarnia, though. It's like there's only one color to be with in there. See, like, I guess it's really, you have like a couple of choices.
Yeah, but there was other things too. I mean, she had like, her sob stories and, her...
Because that's what I realized, is that like issues the older I get and the more I reflect, and like I said, and like we talked about earlier on, that, like, it doesn't change the way it all went down. It doesn't change how you're going to feel about it. You'll just think differently about the certain ways that it went down. Like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or, maybe I overreacted here, maybe I didn't do enough here. Like, there's things, and you just think about it, like, you can almost think about it too much, right?
Yeah.
But the main thing is that it never goes away, right?
Oh, like, no, it doesn't.
Like 4 years, right? You said it's 4 years?
Yeah.
So it's 4 years later, and it still bothers you.
Yeah, but like I've learned to, whereas before it was like it was like, something destructive, it's now become more creative. Like I've actually, you know what? I ended up writing a fucking actual script about the situation. It was a shitty fucking script, but it just got my juices. Like, again, like I used that situation and that experience to like fuel my fucking, like, you've seen me, I've been on a rampage for the past couple of years, just trying to fucking, I almost drove a cabbage truck at one point. Like I've been fucking trying things.
But see, that's like, there's a difference.
I did things that went white water rafting, fucking.
See that? Yeah,
that's the thing.
Like creative or adventurous behavior is one thing.
It also taught me a lot of lessons too about like not.
But you need a solid foundation. If you're like work wise or whatever, like you need a solid foundation to be able to overcome anything. I think, right?
That situation taught me lessons. It came down to simple fact that no matter who it is, no matter what it is, nothing lasts forever, and this goes down to what things end, right? So in the meantime, enjoy it while you have it, and when it's gone, remember it.
You're right. No,
everything.
All good things must come to an end, right? That's a famous line, and and I get that, but like, see what your situation's a bit different. Like, I mean, I have situations like that too, but like I wasn't like too affected by it because that was all like after, and I put walls up, and like I go in going, if she comes my way, she comes my way.
Yeah.
If she doesn't, that's the way, the cookie crumbled. The cookie crumbled on that one. Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe I was even out of line by, entertaining taking her from a guy, or, finding out she's got a boyfriend and like, whatever. Right. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is that, caused you to get involved in that. Like, I mean, like you said these things, I don't know, but that the lightning in the bottle moment, like there's always that moment where it's like, you know what, there's no going back now, like I'm in, like I can't back out now, like I'm in, I've just embarrassed myself, I've said something I shouldn't have said, and what do I expect out of it? You know what I mean?
Oh no! Look, at the end of the day, it was doomed from the beginning. Like, falling for a girl who has another guy, you're never gonna walk away without any battle scars. But
like, I gotta be honest. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I'd take that over a couple of mine.
Well, that's the thing.
I gotta be honest. From my perspective.
Yeah.
For you,
Yeah. Well, that was
you're probably like, well, fuck. I'll probably take his because it was, he's probably got a crazy story or whatever.
That's the thing, right?
Some shit went down with him.
That's why when I say, listen, I want to get into another crazy fucking thing, because maybe I need to experience that shit and realize that it wasn't that bad or whatever. Right, so that's kind of like, when I say things like, oh yeah, maybe I want like a crazy chick or whatever,
because you end up building your wall just thicker.
Maybe
your defenses are always kind of operating.
Yeah,
like people don't assume they are, but they are.
Yeah.
Like your defense mechanisms are just they go up. So like people think you don't give a shit, but meanwhile you do.
Gotta be like RoboCop.
Yeah, maybe, or Terminator.
Halt! I want to love you, but I have.
I kind of almost want to be like.
Defenses.
I almost kind of want to be like Kirk. Like he just seems to like. I feel like I don't know. You put it away somewhere else.
Put what away?
It's like you put it at the back of your head.
Like, what?
Like your situations. Like the fucking literally the things we've been talking for the past couple of hours. Like you just seem to
know it bothers. And it bothers.
It does, but
I think like
you're better.
Also,
you're better
most
at
of these things have been over for like the last one happened a year ago.
Okay,
and it was like, but like I said, it was a slow decline.
Yeah,
it was like we went out for a while, and then like it was back and forth. But then like by the third time she fucked with me, I was more or less like, no. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, basically, it wasn't. I didn't tell her, but just told people in my life. I'm like I'll be nice enough to talk to her. She needs someone to talk to, but she can't just expect me to. Like it's like, and I'm not going to let her in. But I'll listen to you.
Fair
but
enough.
I'm not letting you into my world again.
Right. Yeah, I respect that. That's what I was saying. But like, he gets.
But I'm very affable.
Yeah.
I'm very easygoing, I guess. Or
yeah.
I have a way about.
I used to be easygoing.
I feel like I like how I am.
Work's doing it to me.
I feel like I like how I am as a person, but also like I see the opposite of that problem is I feel like people don't take me seriously enough because I am very goofy and like easygoing.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
See,
that's the thing, man. I say
I can't be serious. It's hard to be serious though. For me, I just have to have like I want to have a good time, and I want to be like.
I also like to party.
I like to. I like to keep it light. Like even when I was like at the skate rink and stuff. I think like I talk to everybody. I like joke with everybody. Like there's certain
people you're enjoying your day, right? Like,
and I guess it's just like there's sometimes there was shit that like I had going on, but like I try not to bring that into everyday shit.
Yeah,
just like I try to be
brighter
like
side of life.
Try to be like a shining beacon of hope.
See, my thing is I tell people don't mistake my kindness for weakness.
Yeah. I think like
it's a little different, right? But people think, oh well, he's weak. No, just because I'm kind. Doesn't mean like because I have empathy or whatever, like empathy, right? Not apathy.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, oh, okay, I'll help you out. Like whatever. Like
I think it depends on the person though. Some people see that as like an admirable quality,
but then
they realize it's not like weakness. They're just like that person has empathy. That person is understanding. Where other people are just kind of shitty. And then they take advantage of that.
But then in relationship status, people always take advantage of it. But the thing is, I think people mistake with me, like just like coldness or like uncaring or uninvested. Like people think I'm not invested in relationships where it couldn't be further from the truth. You know what I mean? Like I'm very invested. Right, which is why anytime if it's not me ending it or being indifferent to something, if it's something like what we talked about, it's fucked up, especially if that's what the other person knows, and I think it's a misplaced trust thing for me. Like that's where I think my thing comes from. Right. It's like, how could it be so wrong?
Right,
to be like. Fuck, I let them in, and they knew that, they know this is a fucking issue for me, and then they get in, and then they, shit all over that.
Right.
So it's like, fuck. You know,
So I feel like we
fuck them for
emotional
that. Fuck
terrorism.
but yeah, kind of. And like some of them will do like the long slow play,
Yeah.
like wear your defenses down for fucking years.
Hey, it is kind of
and then just fucking
interesting.
demolish you, right?
Yeah, they do all their intel for years at a time. They know your weak points, and it's like that. Remember from the end of Kill Bill 2, the 5.
No, I don't.
Well, there's this like technique she learns. Apparently, it's like a 5-point palm exploding heart technique, where it's like hitting 5 pressure points.
Remember any of this.
She hits 5 pressure points on him, and it makes his heart explode inside of him. And he's like, "So he taught you?" And she's like, "Of course he did." They're just dying on the floor. It's like, it's really good. It's like a good like symbol for like ending a relationship.
So
yeah. So
no, I was gonna say something, but now I'm thinking about exploding hearts.
I know. I don't know. I think we all have different, like similar experiences, like being nuked, but we take it differently. Like I'm obviously using my shit as a fuel. I'm using it as a fucking. It feels. It's like how Batman uses his parents' death. I'm using it to fucking become something. I don't know, whatever, right? But
just whatever it is, don't make the next girl wait and then decide to put the cape on, because
right.
remember what she'll start doing?
Yeah.
She'll start banging Green Lantern,
Right, fair enough.
or the Flash.
So you gotta put that.
You know
You
what?
gotta put
No,
that Superman stamp on it.
That's
right?
giving that other guy too much credit.
You know how to do the
It's
Superman.
gotta be
though,
like
right?
somebody that's mildly retarded.
Speaking about Superman,
No offense to
I gave this chick the Superman shirt. That's one of my.
No, I
Man,
meant when
fucking
you.
gave a chick a baby blue Roy Halladay limited edition
fuck.
pullover, like it was numbered.
You know that's valuable now, right?
It fucking is. And
You know
I
it's
gave
fucking-
it to her,
yeah.
and fuck, I don't know what happened to
Kevin,
it.
I meant you were gonna.
but I can't get it back now.
You know the sex move, the Superman. You come on her back, and then you stick the sheet on her back, and then she's Superman.
No.
So I feel like you would be the best
No.
guy for this, because I assume you have Superman sheets. So that'd be the best way to do
No,
a Superman
I
a hoe would be to come on her back and then put your Superman
I don't know,
like comforter on her.
but what do you call it? So I want to wrap this up. For advice, because we all, again, we have different stories, but whatever. But we feel there's going to be guys out there that are going to get nuked. Maybe you got nuked now, and you're listening to this, and you're like, well, my story isn't, or my story's worse, whatever.
Oh, I'm sure there's people out there with like worse.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
worse
Yeah.
stories. Like,
Actually,
actually,
you know what?
A couple mine are bad.
When I was going through the shit, I would go on these sites or whatever and read like fucking breakup stories, and you hear shit, man. You fucking hear about like kids and fucking
yeah,
man.
no, there's some horrible shit going on out there.
Guys are getting burnt, and people
my,
are getting burnt.
My parents are still fighting, and it's been like they've been divorced for
Right.
20 years.
Right.
They're still having problems. People can still have problems.
Oh yeah. So, anyways, what kind of advice do you have to anybody that's gonna get nuked, been nuked? What's your advice?
I say
Yeah.
reset it and forget it. That's the Kirk guarantee. If your brain isn't juicy and full of ability to go find the next big lay, then that's all I gotta say.
Right. Murray, your advice to the nuked out there?
I don't think I have any advice.
I don't know if what I said was advice either.
Like I said, man, like I've done it to myself. I've let it happen.
Yeah.
The thing is, to the person getting nuked, maybe you deserve it. No.
That's a fucking good message right there.
You burned. You burned.
What I said is, or what I meant by that is that, acknowledge, like if you're doing, like if you're not investing into the person,
Right.
like not your situations,
Yeah.
but like then you might get nuked. But if you are, then what you're learning about that other person, you should really be happy you're learning it, because you're learning what they're capable of.
Right.
And you're learning that you do not matter to them. Like, no matter what they tell you, no matter, what you think,
Sweet
whatever
nothings.
whatever they say, they're inflicting mass amounts of damage on you, and they are not stopping, right? They're not going to reconsider it, and whatever. It's so you got to acknowledge that and act accordingly. And if they decide that they're going to bring whoever their new person is, like if they're like straight up cheating on you with somebody else, and they bring that person around, get ready, mount up, and you hit that person. Or whatever, you defend your territory and you let that person know you're uncomfortable with them and that they fucked up. And if you're the person that's going to do the nuking, the only thing I can say to you is, if you're going to do it, you better be fucking sure you never want to go back into that territory ever again or be with that person ever again. Say goodbye. It's like a mission to Mars. It's a one-way trip.
Fair enough.
And if you come back, there's problems. So you got to be damn fucking sure you know what you're doing. Yeah. And there's people out there that have probably nuked, and nuked with callous nuking.
Yeah.
Just callous nuking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I hope you had a good reason for it. And if you don't, we got the STD, and it burns when you pee. and you're spreading that to your new person because fuck you. But other than that,
have a nice day.
good luck.
Yeah.
Is that good enough?
That's good. That was good. My only thing is that, like, because again, I can only say from the guys that got nuked.
You got some anger there.
If you got nuked,
where's your anger?
Me?
See, I get angry.
I don't. I use that shit.
Like serenity now.
You want to know?
I'm peaceful.
You want to know my
but
secret?
I get fired up, man.
I'm always angry.
I'm always angry.
I feel like
I'm literally always angry.
I feel like I can't just become angry, but like I'll get angry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I'm just talking about something, I'm probably not gonna get angry. But like I get irrationally angry out of nowhere.
So like impulsive.
Yeah, it has to. It's just like how I think people in my family
For
are.
me,
it's just like getting angry, but it's just like out of nowhere. And you just have to. I have learned to deal with it because it just comes suddenly. And
you're like rage building.
Yeah, I think
anger flowing.
It's probably because I can't deal with it like on a realistic level throughout the day.
Right.
It's just that one thing that tips you over that shouldn't tip you over, but does.
Yeah. It's true. I've seen Kirk get angry over the most random shit ever. He'll be like, "That person didn't give me the right cup. Didn't give me the fucking right cup." And then I'll be like, "Kirk, it was just a cup. It was just."
Sometimes,
he didn't give me enough pancakes.
When you're just having a day, man. When you're just having a day.
About the pancakes. What are you talking about?
When you're having a day and you go through the McDonald's drive-thru and you grab a 10-piece nugget combo to go, and you're having a bad day and you look in the bag and they didn't give you the barbecue sauce or whatever sauce you wanted, and you're like, motherfuckers, man.
No, I made someone recently really uncomfortable how mad I got really suddenly playing like EA NHL hockey or whatever. It was like the 2000s.
See, I don't get angry over stuff like that.
Well, I think because he was beating me and I'm used to being good at it, and the controls he had were a bit different than what I was used to.
Hey, man,
and I just couldn't I was just having trouble figuring it out. And I just felt like something went wonky with it. I'm like, fuck this. Like I did it so suddenly, then like and then it continued to swear. And my friend was like, maybe we should turn it off. Like I can't. It's hard to see.
You know what the difference is?
Yeah, I don't think because he'd never really see me suddenly mad like that.
Do you know what the difference is between winners and losers?
Someone gets a trophy.
I don't know.
Someone gets to bang the prom queen at the end.
Learning how to lose.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I have been a Maple Leafs fan for quite some time.
You know what I mean?
So I've learned to lose a lot. Right. The only way I win Stanley Cups is when I win them for the Maple Leafs.
Or learning from your losses. That's
and you know what? That's my.
And that means when you're winning, you know what you're doing right, and when you're losing, you know what you're doing wrong. I'll apply that to NHL.
I guess for me, it was just like dealing with a different control scheme that I was used to because I was playing somebody who had it set a certain way. So I was just like finding it. Have you played, right? The one where the newer one, you to like speed up, you click down the button.
Yeah.
I hate that. I like when there was just a
bumper.
Yeah, like a bumper or like the Y button was speed up.
Yeah, where you just
just like one
classic
button.
controls.
Like there should be a button for going fast.
Anyways, instead of NHL, my thing is
what's your
to the nuke.
Sorry, I deviated you.
Yeah, no, it comes down to simple fact is that you're gonna get nuked. There's no listen, for those who are like, oh no, I've never been whatever. You're gonna get fucking nuked.
No,
everybody does.
Think this
Everybody
is the thing.
does.
I think there's some people out there.
They're called sociopaths. They kill people.
No, and there's girls out there like that. I think they just nuke, and they're oblivious to the damage that they're doing, or they don't like they're oblivious, or they don't care.
There's the ring
or
of fire.
They fully know.
There's the ring of fire.
Or they fully know, and they don't give a.
There's those people too. Fine.
And yeah,
there's the ring of fire. I think you're gonna get burned, and you might fuck over other people, whatever. But long story short is,
and that's where we go to the ring of fire.
But I think you're gonna get nuked. At one point in your life, you're gonna get nuked.
It's hard to avoid it.
Yeah. So my advice to those who get nuked is use that shit. Use that fucking shit. Learn from it. Become a better person. And then maybe one day you'll see your ex and you'll be like, I'm driving a fucking Mustang and I got fucking 22-inch pipes and yeah.
So you're saying, well, I don't know about that.
All I'm saying is just use that shit, become a better person.
Keep it right, keep it tight.
Keep it right, keep it tight. And that's the fucking Other Guys podcast. We just fucking nuke the heart. Live with it, bitch.